Hello,
Hi,
welcome to Anime Mystics. I'm Roman,
I'm Belle.
and this is our Jaya Skypiea arc discussion.
Woo.
So it took us a little bit
Yeah,
to actually get to this point, seeing as how we had a 6-month break in the middle of
When we first
Alabasta
started.
till now. But I think we're going at a pretty good pace.
we're starting to catch up
Yeah,
a little bit. Not really.
a little. We'll be getting to the end of the Davy back fight soon, because that's not a long arc.
Yeah, you said it was like, what, 10 episodes?
10 or so episodes.
Yeah.
Let's see. So we pick up at the end of Alabasta with the crew seeing a ship fall out of the sky,
Yeah.
nearly crushing theirs. It was a huge ship. Seems like every ship other than theirs is huge.
It's really, like, kind of drastic. The
Yeah.
size
Of the other ships.
of the other pirate ships.
It is. They're like almost 4 times the size.
It's like, oh, this is
This is
their ship, and this is all the other ships.
the other ships. Turn this off really quick. So they see the ship fall out of the sky, and they see like some huge shadows in the sky.
Shadow figures.
People with wings. I forget what they called them. Like the shadow people
Yeah.
in the sky, something like that. And they're freaking out because they don't know what it is.
They're like, oh, monsters.
I think Zoro was getting ready to fight if he had to.
Yeah, he was getting his swords ready.
Um,
Everyone was kind of
On edge, yeah, because they don't know what's going on. I think the only one who wasn't really like that was Robin, but she's kind of...
She's always kind of mellow.
Yeah. But they decide to bring the ship up from the water, or at least go in there and try to see if they can find some treasure. So, I think they made some, like, makeshift diving suits.
Yeah, and
Usopp did anyway. And had, like, a pump where they were pumping in air.
oh yeah, where they're
Yeah. So they go into the water to get whatever they could find in the ship, and also kind of find out what happened, because they don't know what happened.
and
They find some stuff, but while they're under there, another ship shows up with this like orangutan-looking dude.
yeah.
Let me see, Masura. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. They have a specific word for it, but they bring ships up from the water so that they can see what's in them and take
What they
whatever's on it. Salvage. That's what they're doing. They're salvaging the ship. But Luffy and them got to it first, so they're trying to take over.
Yep, and Luffy doesn't let that happen.
Yeah, they don't like that. And apparently Masura has some kind of ability where he can use his voice to, like...
Pinpoint?
He uses like it's like an echolocation type of thing. So he can pinpoint things that are in the area with specific items that they have on the ship. And it can hurt like his opponent's ears and cause them to be like immobile.
Yeah.
Like almost paralyzed because of the noise. He tried doing that to them, and I forget how they got away, but they got away. And end up going to Jaya.
Jaya?
They're basically here to get supplies and learn information.
About what's going
on. So Luffy, Zoro, and Nami go into the town.
Yep.
Nami actually making them promise they will not fight.
Yep.
Sanji, Chopper, and Usopp, I think, end up staying back.
To guard the ship.
And Robin walks off on her own.
Doing what Robin does best. Trying to get information.
Getting information. This is where we meet Bellamy
Yep.
and his crew. His second in command. I got his name written down here somewhere. Sarkis.
Yeah.
Yeah. When they arrive in the town, Bellamy had just finished fighting this other pirate named Roshio the Executioner. Yeah, I wrote down everybody's names so that we can actually remember it. So
Because
we're
if
like,
not, this guy who looks like this.
Yeah,
like
we'd
this
be-
Part,
it'd
it'd be bad.
be bad. Yeah. So they come in when he's like finished fighting this guy, and everybody's like talking about it. Bellamy is like this big time rookie with what, like a 55 million?
Yeah, 59 million.
55 million berry bounty. So he thinks he's like big shot. And they know Luffy because they've seen his 30 million berry bounty.
But little do they know, his is
gone up since then to 100 billion. 100 million, not billion.
crazy if it was that.
Yeah, it'd be crazy if it was 100 billion. And they're in the like a diner.
Like almost like a saloon?
Like a saloon area. Where Luffy is trying to get some food and he's eating a pie. This is also where we meet Blackbeard.
Yeah.
Because he's in the same area eating pie. Loves the pies. Luffy hates them. Says they're horrible.
These are the worst pies.
And Blackbeard says they're the best.
Disagreed.
So they almost get into a fight because of that. And then they have some drinks. Luffy likes the drinks. Blackbeard hates it.
It's totally reversed.
Yeah, so they almost get into a fight because of that. And nothing actually happens, and Blackbeard just ends up leaving. I think they have some kind of discussion about something.
Yeah.
But then he leaves, and as he's leaving, Bellamy walks in because his crew went and got him.
Yeah.
Because Luffy is in town, and he needs to prove that he's better. They start having... Oh, go ahead.
They have like a argument, and they end up keeping true to Nami's promise, which was not to fight.
Yeah. I think they mentioned Sky Island.
Yeah.
They want to go to the island that's in the sky.
And was trying to... Oh, they're asking the guy behind...
The counter.
The counter.
How to get there.
How to get there. Do you know anything about it? And then everyone kind of just laughed at them and weren't taking them seriously at all. And Luffy's pretty serious about things.
Yeah.
That he feels passionate about.
But he told Zoro, we're not going to fight.
We're not fighting. And Zoro didn't question it.
Pretty sure there was another reason behind it besides Nami telling them not to fight.
Yeah, but don't they tell us that later?
Yeah.
Afterward? Yeah. They don't go into it right then and there why they're not
actually
fighting. But then they end up making fun of him, and it turns into a big thing, and they end up beating him up and throwing him out of the saloon. Into
the street.
Yeah.
No, I don't think they get thrown out. Nami is dragging them out.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because...
They were just standing there.
Yes. The Sarkis was trying to be like, oh, they're losers. Come join our crew.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, whatever. You guys aren't worth anything.
Yeah.
And just gets them by the back of their shirts and just starts dragging them out. And then she's yelling at them, why didn't you defend yourselves? Why didn't you fight? And Blackbeard's out there.
Yeah.
Like, they won that fight. Sometimes fighting isn't
always the answer.
Isn't always the answer. And Luffy knew that there was really no point fighting the guy.
Yeah, they weren't going to gain anything at that moment from actually fighting them in there. They weren't worth it.
Yeah, they weren't worth it. So, they end up getting beat up. And, they go back to the ship. Robin, on the other hand, ended up getting some information about this. Like, they kept calling him an old man, but he didn't look old.
Yeah.
This old man, Cricket, who lives on the other side of the island, that they should go and talk to him. So they go over to the other side of the island, and they find half of a house.
Literally cut
but
evenly in half.
He's got like a not cardboard, but he's got this
something on the outside
to make it look bigger. And they go around and they're like, what is this? And they go inside the house to see if anybody's in there, and nobody's there. And he comes out of the water because he was diving and ends up fighting with some of them, but then collapses because
he's sick.
What do they call it when you come up, when you go deep down into the water and then come up, you get some kind of sickness because of the air and pressure and stuff like that from coming up. So, Chopper helps him out. Turns out he's friends with the monkey guys.
Yep, that they saw
Masura,
earlier.
and they meet Shoujo. That's this guy right here.
Mm.
He's the other monkey that wore the headphones. And
so that way when he did the...
Yeah, he looked more muscular, while the other one was more rounded.
Had more meat on his bones.
Yeah. And they're actually thankful because they helped him out, because they're big fans of him, because they know the story that we're about to get into. They ask him about the Sky Island, and he basically tells them everything he knows and about what he's actually trying to do, which is basically he's looking for a city of gold. His ancestor, Noland the Liar, basically ruined his life because he told everybody that there was a city of gold in this area, and nobody found it, and because when they went there, it was gone.
Yeah.
And he believes that it sank
to the ground,
into the ocean, and so that's why he's there. He was a pirate, and when he got to that point, he's like, "Okay, I'm staying here, and I'm going to try to find this thing, not to prove that his ancestor was right, but just so
he could have it."
That, and so so people could leave him alone, because everybody kept saying, "Oh, you're an ancestor of Noland the Liar." Nobody wants to believe you. It was more of a for himself, basically. He was doing it for himself, not to just go around and be like, "See, my ancestor was telling the truth." It was more just a self-satisfaction kind of thing.
He didn't really care what people really thought of too much of Nolan. He was like, "This is what it was, but it's not me."
Yeah, it's not me. And the monkeys are helping them out. I know they're not actually monkeys. They just look like monkeys.
They do look like monkeys.
But they're helping them out because they're a big fan of the story, Noland the Liar, which goes into that whole thing about how he found this island that was made of gold, and he went back to his home country in the South Blue, told the king that there's this city of gold out there, and they go out there, and it's gone. And he's got this big goofy grin on his face like an idiot.
Yep. And then they execute him, right? They
execute him, yeah. This is actually where we find out that Sanji is from South Blue. They found him in East Blue because he was on the
ship.
The ship.
Where he was cooking. Oh my gosh!
I cannot remember the name of it.
The floating kitchen.
I know.
Floating restaurant.
I can see the name in my head. I just can't. But anyway, it's in the floating restaurant. But that was in East Blue, but he's originally from South Blue, and he tells them that, "Oh, I didn't tell you, I'm originally from South Blue. So I know this story.
I've heard this story."
Yeah. And they say they're going to help him out, because he's going to help them
go to
the sky by using that...
the current that shoots up specifically at a certain time.
Yeah. But there were a few things they needed to do. One, they needed to fix up the ship,
so it can actually handle the force of getting shot up into the
sky, and so it could actually, stay on course. I mean, they added wings to it,
so it wouldn't just go.
Yeah.
Fall right
back down, and they needed to go find what was called a south bird. This bird only faces south.
Wherever you are.
That's the only place it'll face. Only direction, I should say, it'll face. So they needed to go find one. And they're in the woods looking for this thing late at night. It's messing with them badly. It's setting up traps. It's doing all these things. It's laughing at them. It's making fun of them.
It's making a lot of jokes.
It is just...
It's not taking them serious at all.
Insulting them.
Ha.
And, yeah. I think it was Robin who ended up catching it.
Well, yeah, she used her
ability.
Her ability and just went bloop, 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 and it rolled down the tree it was in. Because wasn't it laughing at them?
Yeah, it was laughing at them at the moment. when Robin used her ability to wrap her arms around it and they can catch it.
And I just looked at, like...
It was angry.
It's like, how dare you?
Yeah.
I was gloating.
While this is going on, Bellamy hears about this guy, about Cricket, and takes his crew over there to take the treasure that they found while they've been salvaging ships and diving in the ocean. And they're actually... was it Mashira, Shoujo, and...
His crew?
And Cricket are actually doing pretty good against them until Bellamy gets into the fight. And he ends up beating all of them.
Pretty bad.
Pretty badly. But they still...
Don't...
Yeah, they take all of their treasure and leave back to the town. Luffy and them return and see them all beat up. And Luffy's angry. Because he likes them, and they're his friends now.
And if you mess with Luffy's friends, well, you've messed up really bad.
Yeah, you've messed up badly. So he says he's going back to the town to get their treasure back. And he's trying to stop them.
It's like, it's not worth it. The gold doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just, let's focus on...
the task at hand, because we got to get you into the sky. And he's asking, how long do I have before...
We have to go.
We have to go. And it was like 5 hours? 8, something like that?
Yeah, it was till like, what, sunrise?
Yeah, sunrise.
Because it was at night when
they came back and saw this. And so he's like, alright, I'll be back in time to
make it up there.
And so he's running back to the town, and one of Bellamy's crew ends up finding a new wanted poster. I think the mail was delivered. The newspaper was delivered that had the new wanted posters. And he saw both Luffy's and Zoro's.
Were much higher.
Yeah.
Than they thought.
I think Zoro was 60.
And
Luffy's 100.
They were all laughing at him. In the same saloon.
Yeah.
Making jokes. Oh, these guys can't be worth this much. This is fake. This must be a joke.
Yeah, they must have faked this bounty and had it sent out themselves.
Yep.
And then Luffy comes in. Well, he didn't go in, but he's outside yelling for Bellamy.
Yep.
And then everybody shuts up.
Because it's just so coincidental.
That they were just talking about him.
And then boom.
And now
He's
here
right
is
there.
a potential 100 million berry pirate calling for you. It's, at least for the rest of the crew, it's kind of intimidating.
Oh, they got turned into a bunch of weenies at that moment.
Yeah.
Like,
they stopped laughing, they stopped talking.
They got really scared. They're like, oh, we don't want to fight. We should get out of here.
Yeah, what should we do? Bellamy went out there. Because, I mean, he's a captain, and he pretty much thinks he's the best there is. So he goes out there, and Luffy's telling him he wants the gold back from the old man's gold. And Bellamy's like, look, I'm a pirate. I stole that gold.
It's now mine.
You should know, being a pirate yourself, that we can take whatever we want. And Luffy's like, yeah, but they're my friends.
And you don't...
You don't mess with my friends. And this is possibly one of the most satisfying fights.
Oh yeah, when he just gets like, he's so cocky.
If Bellamy is just like, do you even know how to throw a punch? Do you even know how to fight?
You can take a lot of punches. Can you actually do anything?
Because throughout the entire thing, Luffy's not doing anything. He's dodging.
Yep. Just.
And Bellamy is doing all the attacks. Everybody down on the ground is like, see, it was fake. The bounty wasn't real.
We never doubted you.
Then Bellamy gets a hit on him when he's in the middle of the air, and he crashes into the boards that are making up like the street. And Luffy stands up. And then Bellamy is doing his signature move. The spring hopper? Is that what it's called? Where
he can like bounce really fast.
He's springing himself off of everything in the area. Like buildings, the clock tower, to build up speed.
Yep.
And Luffy's just getting angrier because Bellamy is just going on and on about the old man, them.
Everything. Just really like poking at like Luffy. And
And you don't want to do that.
Don't poke the bear.
Yeah, don't poke the bear. Or in this case, the monkey. Good, I mean monkey D. Luffy.
Yep.
So Luffy just puts up his fist
and
is like, do I know how to throw a punch? And Bellamy just comes down to try to hit him. And Luffy just brings his fist down onto his temple, knocking him out instantly.
Into the ground, making another...
Like an indent.
Yeah.
And a dent in his head. You could see Luffy's fist just in the
right
side
there.
of his face.
And he's out.
And everybody's, again, shuts up.
Shocked face.
Except for that one pirate who got the bounty and was like, see, I told you. I told you it was him.
We should have listened.
The bounty is real. And Sarkis is trying to be tough. But then the bounty flies into his face and he looks at it and he's thinking, oh god.
I can't do this. What am I supposed to do?
And then Luffy takes the gold, starts heading back, and I think Sarkis is trying to stop him, asking him, what are you
doing with that?
Yeah, what are you going to do? And
it's ours.
Or like, where are you going? And Luffy's like, to the sky, and points up. And they go back to the other guys.
They're waiting.
They're finishing up the final touches on the ship, where they've made it look like a flying chicken.
Oh my god.
Just amazing some of the things that they do in this series. It's like, okay, you gotta make the ship able to fly, but
Let's
you make
it look like a chicken.
Let's make it look like a chicken. So Luffy gets back, he brings the gold and everything, and I don't think... Did they actually say thank you? Or do they just say, come on, get ready to go?
No, I think he said,
I'm pretty sure he said it.
He said thank you, and like, you didn't have to
go out there
and do that. It wasn't, you didn't really need to, but thank
you.
To
Luffy, yes, he had to go out and do it.
Yeah. So, especially since they were already being kind of jerks and stuff earlier. It's just like, man, I am tired of you guys.
Yeah, they had to take care of Bellamy. He was, he wanted to fight him.
He did so bad when they were in the village.
Yeah, but he knew it wasn't going to accomplish anything. So, what's the point?
He's like, I'm not going to waste my
energy and
time
on a pointless fight.
Now it was no longer pointless.
Yeah,
he stole from his friend. So.
And beat them up pretty badly.
Yeah.
I think the Masahiro and Shoujo got stabbed a few times.
Yeah, they were really like, Chopper had to bandage them all up and patch them up. They were all really beaten.
Anyway, they end up going out, and it's what's the stream called? That current. The something upstream.
Yeah, like the up. Oh my god! Hold on.
Yeah, look it up. I should have wrote this down. This would have been something to write down. I should have. Knock upstream.
Knock up?
Knock upstream, I think.
Let's see. Yeah.
That's it?
Yep.
Alright, yes! Got my memory.
I remember it was up. That's all I was like, upstream? No.
Yeah.
Maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, the knock upstream is what they had to ride up into the sky.
The force of that was pretty...
powerful.
Intense.
We'll get into how intense later on. So they get to the right location. Blackbeard is actually chasing them now because he found Luffy's
wanted poster.
And he's trying to accomplish something by capturing a pirate worth 30 million or more, like a high-profile pirate. And now that he sees Luffy's bounty, he's like, okay, we're gonna capture him, and we're gonna turn him into the Marines. Oh, I remember. Earlier, they show some of the Shichibukai and the Marines meeting, and let me see, there was Mihawk, Doflamingo, and Kuma, Bartholomew Kuma, that guy that was holding the Bible.
Oh, okay.
they're in there discussing what they're going to do now that Crocodile has been defeated. Because now there's someone missing from the Shichibukai, and they need to have the balance of all of them
like
in place. So they're looking for potential candidates on who can replace him.
Yep.
And one of Blackbeard's crew, his name's Lafitte, looks like a mime, but he talks, is there. And is recommending his captain. He never actually says who, but you find out later that it's Blackbeard.
Yep.
He recommends his captain for a member of the Shichibukai, and that's what Blackbeard wants Luffy for.
So they could say, look, here's
a high-profile pirate we captured.
I want to be a part of
the
this.
spot. Yeah. But they don't end up getting Luffy, obviously. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a Skypiea arc.
Nope.
As they're getting up, as the knock-up stream is coming up, it shoots Luffy and them up, and Blackbeard's ship gets destroyed.
They're all just floating in the water.
Yeah.
We'll get you.
Get you next time. And your little reindeer, too.
Oh my god! Oh.
So, yeah, they're like, okay, well, we'll get them eventually, whenever they come back. Oh, yeah, that was another thing he told them, that Sky Island was real.
Yeah.
And that what Bellamy was saying about the era of dreams being dead is not true. So don't listen to anything he tells you. They basically had a discussion about dreams and stuff after they got beat up. But, yeah. I mean, Luffy wasn't really talking.
No, he
Blackbeard
was just
doing all the talking.
He was just there, listening, taking it in.
Yeah. But now Blackbeard's after him, so, yeah.
That's gonna follow him. We're gonna probably see him way down the
line.
The line at a random time. I'm gonna forget. Seems to happen.
Yeah. Just remember what I said. Don't ever
count anybody out.
Seeing anybody again. Anyway, they go up the knock-up stream. I think some parts of the ship that were put on there fall off.
Well, yeah, it doesn't, what do they have to refix in the sky?
They had to repair a lot.
Like, a lot of the boards started
coming loose.
Ripping off.
Mm-hmm. And they removed all the chicken stuff once they landed. They were wondering how they were able to use their ship up there.
Because it wasn't moving.
Because, one, they're on clouds. Technically, they should be falling through the clouds.
But they're not.
They're not. Apparently, the clouds up here at this height act like water. I forget, they had a name for it. But, acts like water. In every way. If Luffy falls in this, he cannot use his powers. He's basically as useless as he would be in actual water. Another thing we learn is as soon as they get up there, their bodies aren't used to the altitude, so
they're tired.
They can't
really
do much because they get attacked by
Well, we don't know.
We don't know that they're Shandians yet, but it's a Shandian. I forget a gorilla is what they call him.
Mm-hmm.
He's wearing a war mask, and he's got like a bazooka with him, and he's like skating on the water. He's got those those shoes that
can actually go almost like shoe wavers.
Yeah, like that. And he goes onto the ship and just
destroys them.
Yeah, destroys them. Sanji, Zoro, and Luffy.
Oh,
really quickly. And that's when we meet Genfall, or as we know him at the time, the Sky Knight.
Yep.
And Pierre.
Pierre.
His bird horse thing.
Yeah.
It ate the horse fruit?
Yeah.
Ate a devil fruit that turns him into a horse. I think he still has a bird face when he changes.
It just looks so weird.
Called him a Pegasus, but he was not a very majestic looking Pegasus. He just looked really weird and had wings.
He was not graceful.
Or was it No, it was a bird that ate the
Yeah.
horse fruit. I was going to say, was it a horse that ate the bird fruit?
No,
it was the other way. It was the first way I said it. So he offers... He says the first one is free. And he gives them a whistle. And says, if you need me, again, just blow the whistle.
You won't have to pay.
I'll come. Yeah.
Pierre.
Yeah, Pierre. The unmajestic Pegasus.
So unmajestic.
Yeah, and I was wrong. He does not have a bird face. He has a horse face, but he still looks weird.
So weird. He does not. You just look at him and you're like,
Yeah, was Nami the one getting excited to see the Pegasus, and then she sees him and like...
She's like...
Uh,
she's like, what is...
What is this?
What is that?
So they end up going to the gate, the gates of heaven.
Yeah, where the old lady is.
Yeah, Amazon. That's her name. I got her name written down here.
Right there.
Right there. She basically checks in everybody that goes into Sky Island, Skypiea. They have to pay a entrance fee.
What, 1 million? Because it was like, what, 7 mil?
Yeah, it was like 7 million...
Berries.
Were, yeah, because I think it ended up being like 700,000 or something like that. Like in berries. Because they had actual Skypiea money that they asked for, but the exchange rate
for berries
was like 700,000. A lot more reasonable, because they heard 7 million and they're like, we don't have that money.
They're like, what do you...
And they asked, so what happens if we just don't pay? And they're like, you can go ahead.
They're like, well, okay, well, I'm just gonna...
Yeah.
We're just going then.
We forgot to mention that as soon as she walks out, she takes pictures of all of them.
So that way,
yeah,
they send them to the
White Berets.
Yep.
Basically the police force in the Sky Island. So they go on ahead. They don't pay, and she sends out a message that there are illegal immigrants in the sky, and to capture them because they're there illegally.
Okay.
They get to the island and they meet Conus and her father, Pagaya. Yeah, I wrote down Conus' father here, so that I would know which name was his. And she's basically telling him about the island and all this and that, and showing them around,
explaining how like the
waivers,
sky water works. And
yeah,
showed them what waivers were.
Mm-hmm. And her father's actually like he makes those. He works on them and stuff and
repairs them.
He lets them borrow one to use, and the only one who's able to use it is Nami, which makes sense.
Yeah, Luffy tries and
he just falls off all the time.
His head is in the
water. Yeah. This is also where we see the White Berets because they come down to
crawling.
Yeah, they're low crawling.
Like belly, pretty much on the ground, just
belly on the ground, like. Which is an actual military thing. They do that in the military. I had to do that.
Oh yeah,
yeah. There's that, and then there's. I think that's just low crawling. I think is actually where you got your head all on the ground and you just. Like, pull yourself.
Oh no,
You're not actually crawling. I forget what the other one's called, but we had to do both. But they're low crawling, in the open. Everybody can see them.
Like, they are not hiding. Like, it's very... And there's a lot of them, too. It's not like it's, like, 1, maybe 2, where they're like, maybe they don't see me. No, it's, like, a line.
There was, like, 9 of them.
Of them just going. You know, they're like, what?
Like, why are they doing this? And they're basically saying, we have to arrest you.
Yeah.
Or they can pay.
Yeah. It's more now, isn't it? Because they entered illegally?
I think it was no. Yeah, I think it was. I think it had to be a little more.
Yeah, because they entered illegally, so I don't think it was a little bit more than...
At this time, I think Nami was gone. She was using the waiver and went out into the White Sea.
Yep.
Luffy and them are the ones dealing with the
White Berets.
The White Berets. And this is where Nami sees God's power.
Oh yeah, because she ends up on the wealth?
Well,
or outside?
Outside of
that island.
The island. Oh God, what is it called?
Gods. No.
Cannot remember the name of what the island was.
I'm gonna.
You know our memory is.
Yeah,
bad.
sorry guys.
I wrote down all of their names. I should have wrote down locations too.
Lovely Street.
Upper
Yard. There it is. There we go. Oh.
Upper Yard.
That took a minute, but.
Yeah, I might have to cut that.
That little search.
Section out.
I'm gonna leave this page open.
Yeah,
though,
leave that open.
It has all the
names
locations of the different areas.
She's over by Upper Yard, where she sees somebody on the island trying to
escape.
Another pirate, because they could have got up there using a different method that they did not know about
Until they
got there. A lot safer. Did not have to go up the knock-up stream, nearly dying and destroying their ship. Apparently other pirates know about it.
They didn't.
They didn't.
Of course, they have to take the most dangerous
route. And this pirate is like at the edge of Upper Yard. And we see like a beam of light
just
like forming, like getting larger, and then just comes down on top of him, taking out a huge section of the island
where he was standing, like all around him, pretty much. And
Nami is just like
dumbfounded. She's like, "What the heck just happened?"
I think he was being chased by one of the priests.
What? Yeah.
Shura, the guy that has that.
The dog?
No, that's Alm.
Oh yeah.
Because if you look here, Alm and Holy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Shura is the one that has like that other bird.
Oh, the bird.
The bird that breathes fire.
The guy that's fire. Yep.
And he had to move out of the way because he knew that it was happening.
He's like, "Oh, I'm not getting blasted by that."
Yeah. And Nami ends up going back to tell everybody.
Like, we need to
not
be here. We need to go right now.
And she's trying to make everything better.
Because she sees...
with the white berets. Yeah, because she sees them...
talking to Luffy and them, and she's like, oh god, this isn't gonna go well.
She does end up hitting the leader with her waver, though. Like, right in the face.
And he ends up...
Yeah. Not good. And... she's just trying to smooth everything over. You know, it was an accident. I'm not quite used to the waiver yet. I lost control.
Sorry.
And this guy is trying to come up with any crime that he could think of.
He was listing off 5 different violations that they had broken. This is blah 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 violation.
Yeah.
You are now one higher.
Until they finally got to the point where it was basically God's judgment.
Yep. And then everyone freaks out once you get there.
Which is, they have them sent off to Upper Yard to deal with the priests. Connis is actually the one who has to lead them there. She's not supposed to tell them. Basically, she's pretending like she's helping them out. She sends Nami, Robin, and Chopper on the Going Merry. Tells them, if you go down this way, you can make it to the exit. And they end up calling some shrimp that grabs a hold of the ship.
And then
Zoro was with them too.
Yep. Because it was just Sanji and Luffy and Usopp that were with Connis when they were walking. What was it, on Lovely?
Yeah, Lovely Street.
Lovely Street, when she was acting funny, and all the townspeople were acting very
funny, very
standoffish, very suspicious.
We should point out that Luffy noticed right away.
Yeah, he's like, you have been acting weird ever since. What was it? He said the white braids.
Ever since you said you were going to show us
how to get out.
Yeah.
How to get out of here.
Because he asks why she's shaking.
And looks scared.
Why she's been shaking since
they've left.
Yeah, since they've left. And I'm surprised Sanji didn't pick up on it.
Yeah, he's usually really good at picking up on those type of things, but...
Especially with women.
He's always about the ladies.
And she breaks down and tells him, I have to send you off to Upper Yard. Otherwise, we would be in trouble.
We'll face God's judgment, blah, blah, blah.
And Luffy and them get angry at her, but not because she was sending them off, because she told them.
And she's risking herself.
Yeah. And
now putting herself in danger.
Yeah.
Does that same light form? Right?
Yes, it does. And Luffy's trying to grab her and
pull her away so that way she doesn't get killed.
But it's too big. Yeah. And Luffy couldn't get out. And they got hit. But nobody really got hurt.
No, but
he might have gotten out at the last second.
At the split second, because she wasn't injured, he wasn't injured, but it was a massive hole. And everyone started calling her a traitor. Yeah, all the townspeople.
Yeah, because they were afraid God was going to now turn his judgment onto them. I'm holding a pen for some reason. Turn his judgment onto them
because she told them.
Blabbed. And the White Berets are following, in the bushes. They're low crawling again.
They're always
because they don't believe that they're going to leave and go to Upper Yard. Usually as soon as a pirate hears that they're getting sent off for judgment, they try to
escape.
So they're expecting the same thing.
But nope.
Luffy and them get on the ship and head. Yeah, it's Conus' ship.
The one that is like a bull.
No, it looked like a swan.
Oh yeah.
Had like a bird head. And I remember Luffy saying, "I don't want to be on this one. I want that ship."
Oh yeah. Why can't we go on the cool ship?
But they get on it and they start heading towards Upper Yard. Zoro and them have already landed.
They're in the sacrificial altar.
Yeah.
Ugh.
The sacrificial altar, which is surrounded by sky sharks. Zoro, Nami, and Robin end up leaving the ship to go explore, leaving Chopper there to
protect the ship.
And ends up getting attacked by Shura.
Yep.
Yeah. And he's like, "Only one?"
So disappointed. He's like, "Oh, I thought there'd be more." And
Chopper's doing his best.
He tried.
He can't really fight the guy
because he's on his bird.
Yeah, one, he's on the bird. Two, he's able to predict what he's doing.
Read his mind. It's before they knew who they were and what their
abilities were. And three, he's trying to protect the ship at the same time
because he's shooting it with fire and
destroying things. And he's worried because he's the one that's been left in charge, and he doesn't want everybody to get angry at him because
he was supposed to protect the ship
and didn't. So he ends up blowing the whistle because they left the whistle on the ship, and he blows the whistle for
the Sky Knight.
The Sky Knight to come and help out. And he does, and he's fighting Shura, and it's a good fight.
It's a really good fight.
But I think in the end, he ends up losing. He uses his string.
Yeah.
Because he's the Ordeal of String. So he ends up using his string to capture him and uses his abilities to defeat him. But he ends up getting called away. I forget why exactly. I think Enel wanted to see all of them.
Oh yeah, he was trying to tell him that they wanted to put his plan into motion.
Yeah. No, I think this was...
No,
this was,
that's before. That's later on.
That's later on. But he ends up having to leave for some reason. I can't remember exactly. Why. And Chopper's trying to help out the Sky Knight because he's injured badly. Same with Pierre.
Yeah.
So he's patching him up. And the Zoro and them are noticing... one, that the Upper Yard is dirt. Actual dirt. Everywhere else on the sky is cloud, but this is the only place that is got trees,
It's got dirt.
Dirt, grass.
Everything.
Everything that should be on land. And they end up finding the other half. Oh, yeah, good.
They end up finding the other half of the house that was on Jaya, and it was Nami that actually made
the connection
of the house and brought it to everybody's attention. And that's when they pieced together that, oh god, this is where the gold should be, because this is where the other half of the house is. Mm-hmm. We're on the right track.
And they pieced together that the knock-up stream hit the island and shot up half of it into the sky. Which, that's how powerful it is.
Yeah.
It can just basically rip an island in half.
Send it all the way into the sky.
And just...
leave it up there.
Yeah.
Insane.
The Raiders lost.
Oh.
Anyway. Sorry, our football team lost.
I devastate. Right in the middle.
Yeah. Luffy and them are on their way to try to find Zoro and them, but end up seeing like the 4 like directions to go for each ordeal.
Yeah, they're like little tunnels, right?
Yeah.
Where it says like Ordeal of String, Ordeal of Balls.
Balls, Swamp, and Iron.
Yep.
And it tells you the percentage of
survival.
Balls had the highest. What was it, like 50?
Yeah.
Or 60 something?
Half. They're like, this is the best odds.
Yeah, these are the best odds, so let's go down there. Ordeal of Iron was the worst, was 0%.
0%.
So they didn't want to go there.
They're like, what?
So they went with balls. Plus, they were kind of laughing that,
it was, balls. I'm like, oh, what's that?
So they go that way, and they end up falling.
Straight down.
Just to another platform so they can keep going. And they end up having to fight one of the priests, Satori.
Yep.
Big round dude with glasses.
And red
hair. They're having a lot of trouble with him because he's able to predict their movements and what they're going to do. That and the balls are like...
they explode, don't they?
They explode and they have other things inside of them.
Like different things.
Spears, snakes, whatever
Whatever
kinds of different
wanted.
things in them. And they don't know what has what in it. Some of them are just duds.
Oh, yeah. I forget who touched one, and they're like, oh!
Nothing happened. Or, like, something not so dangerous came out of it.
Like bubbles.
Yeah. So, it's completely random of what you get when you touch one of these things.
It's a game of chance.
And they're just having so much trouble. And he's got a dial.
Yeah.
An impact dial. Like, in his glove. So he's using that on Luffy and everybody, and since it's an impact dial, it's like hurting the insides of Luffy. So it's not his ability, his rubber ability is not helping at all.
Because it's going right past the rubber.
Yeah. They do end up stopping him though. Usopp, I think, ends up distracting him with something. That hook he made to try to get back to the ship. And it ends up, like, I think, knocking around some of the balls, and he has to dodge.
Yep.
And it gives Luffy the chance to grab hold of him. And Sanji finishes him off, kicking him in the top of the head.
Yep. And then he's...
out.
KO.
Yep. And they end up getting out, and then finding the guys. The ship is in pieces. Not completely, but, like, the mast is gone.
Yeah, because it caught on fire.
And Chopper had to
rip it off.
And throw it into the water so that he can keep the rest of the ship from getting caught on fire. After that, they all have a meeting about everything that they've discovered.
What's going on?
Mm-hmm. And that's where they break down, I think it's Nami who's basically doing... No, Usopp's got the board with
everything, all the information that they have gathered.
Yeah. That this is half of Jaya. That the city of gold is there. The priests, the ability that they have to predict their movements.
Everything.
And they come to the conclusion, we're going to get some gold.
We're going to get gold.
And we're going to get out of here.
Nami was the first one that's like,
yes,
I want all of it. All of the gold.
All the golds.
All of it. Now you guys can finally pay me back.
And then they end up having a party with a bunch of wolves.
Getting super drunk. Dancing.
Nami ends up beating up the wolf, the leader.
Yep.
And the rest of them are getting ready to attack, and Chopper's translating what the wolf is saying, and he's like, "You can't defeat her.
She's too strong.
She's too strong for you all.
We're no match for her."
And they end up having a party, dancing around a fire with all the wolves.
Having a great time.
It's one of the things I love about One Piece.
They have some great humor. You really just can't compete with
It's like some random things happen. Like they're dancing with wolves. That's a movie too. Dances with Wolves.
Oh my gosh.
With Kevin Costner. Although he technically doesn't dance with a whole pack of wolves. Just one wolf and like one scene.
See, he needs to get on Nami's level.
Yeah, he needs to get on Nami's level. But they all end up going to sleep, and Usopp wakes up in the middle of the night because he has to use the bathroom. But he doesn't want to go alone. So he's trying to get Zoro to go with him. Like, it's dark. What if something attacks me?
I'm scared.
And he's like, just shut up and go.
Let's go to the bathroom.
Make it quick. So he goes towards, like, the edge of where the sacrificial altar is. Because he goes out there, and that's where you can see the ship.
Oh, yeah, and that's when he sees
that thing...
shadow guy.
Repairing the ship. And he freaks out and passes out. I believe he passed out.
He did pass out, because Zoro was like, why is it taking him so long? Where did he go?
And then he tries telling them, somebody was over by the ship.
Repairing it.
Nobody really believed him, but they got over there, and it was fixed. The mast was,
all put together.
The holes in the ship were fixed. It was patched up. So they were like, okay.
It don't matter.
Usopp was the only one that was really like, who was it?
Why were they fixing the ship? Who was this guy? Everyone else was like, well, the ship is fixed.
Yeah.
What really matters who fixed it?
Yeah. So they take the ship and they're like, okay, so our plan is we're going to go to the outside of the island.
Yep.
Of Upper Yard. We're going to go and find the City of Gold and take everything we can get. And then we're going to get on the ship.
Get out of here.
And get out of here. I think around that time, the Shandians...
Don't they start attacking?
Yeah, they start coming up with their plan to attack Upper Yard. Because...
it's their...
Satori has been defeated.
Yeah.
They know one of the priests is done. So it's now, gives them the opportunity to go in, now that they're weakened.
To fight back.
Fight back.
And take back their
homeland. It's basically a whole Indians type of situation. They were on the land and they got kicked out, and now they want it back.
Yep.
Only these guys are more, not afraid to fight.
No, they want their land back, and they've trained since they were little.
I'm not saying that American Indians wouldn't fight to get their land back, but there's not enough.
There wasn't a whole lot of people for them to have to fight, and instead of having 4 very strong priests, they had 3, and they're like, if there was ever a good time for us to strike back, it's now, until they get somebody new to fill that spot. And wasn't it the leader of their group? Makes the plan.
Wiper.
Yeah, Wiper.
Yeah. Yeah, he comes up with a plan. They go in, and they start
fighting.
Oh, this is when Enel talks to them all. Telling them, just go ahead and take however much of the island you need for your ordeals.
Oh, yeah. There's no longer different sections. It's, pretty much a free-for-all.
Yeah. No. This was
later on, isn't it?
The second fight. Because they all start fighting already. And they're still losing. The priests are still beating them.
Yeah.
Luffy and them are mixed in, kinda. And then they end up retreating. And then Enel calls them in.
That's right.
Talks to them, saying, expand your
areas.
Ordeals to however much you need. And then the Shandians come up with their second plan and what they're going to do.
Plan number 2.
And that is when Wiper defeats Shura. because he uses that.
The impact dial. Nope. Does he?
Yeah, it's called something else though. It's kind of like an impact dial, but it's like 10 times more powerful.
It was supposed to like almost rip off
your arm,
your
like
arm.
A normal person's arm.
That's how much damage it would do. If not, it nearly almost kills you. I think is what they said.
It would kill you. It wasn't a revenge dial, was it?
That's what it was.
So a revenge dial. He's got that thing like wrapped on his hand, like with
some cloth.
Yeah, like cloth, so that it doesn't come off. And his friend Kamakiri, is telling him, "You're an idiot for using this. You know what it's going to do to you. You've already used it once, and look at you. If you use it anymore, you'll probably die." And then he goes on to use it like 6 more times.
Well, we'll talk about the death or non-deaths of the people on Sky Island
later.
Gosh.
But they defeat one of the priests. So now there's only 2. Om and Holy.
Yep.
And then Gedatsu, Swamp and Iron.
He's not smart.
No, he's not.
He really...
He was like doing the opposite of what... Like instead of crossing his arms like this, he's like... and he's like
sucking on his upper lip so hard. He's like looking up and his eyes are rolling all the way back. It's all white. I'm like, oh, sweet Jesus.
Like, what the heck are you doing, man? He was strong though. Not as strong as the other 3, I think.
No.
But he was still pretty strong.
I'd say he would be number 3.
Yeah, Satori would be last.
Yeah, and then
Gedatsu, then Shura, then Om.
Yep.
He fights Chopper. I know there's a whole bunch we're skipping.
Yeah, but we're
most of the fighting in between is not really important.
We're just mainly going to talk about the important fights.
Yeah, the important fights.
So it's not 3 hours, 2 hours. Maybe you guys will actually be able to watch it all.
To see it all. Yeah. So Chopper ends up fighting Gedatsu. He ends up at the ruins. I should mention that they did see a big snake, which separated them all.
Yeah.
Luffy, Robin, Zoro, and Chopper were together, and they got separated because they ran into this huge, huge snake.
Yep. Zoro's going in the wrong...
He's going back towards the sacrificial altar.
Robin's going actually towards where they're all supposed to meet.
But I wouldn't expect any less from Robin.
Yeah, she's the only one on track. I don't know. Chopper and Luffy weren't too
Luffy was kind of to the left.
Everyone was like towards, like branching off like this. Robin's going right, and then you got Zoro.
Going
backwards.
And Chopper ends up going the right way because I think he ran into a fight and ran back.
Yeah.
Like the opposite direction he was going and ended up in the ruins. Robin was the first one to arrive and just started, exploring. Chopper got there and ended up having to fight Gedatsu, who was doing pretty good against Chopper. Again, he's able to predict their movements, or what they're going to do next. So they called it mantra.
Oh,
mantra. Yeah.
Mantras.
Yeah, mantra. Chopper ended up having to... He attacked his shoe. He took one of his shoes off.
He took his shoe off because he saw him...
He was using a cloud dial?
Yeah, to fly around. And he realized he was kind of dense.
So he took a shoe. After using his mind point to see his weakness, and it pointed at a shoe. So he takes a shoe, and when he tries to fly up the Chopper again, he's only got one shoe, so it's like...
Puts him right back into the white sea, head down.
Not just the white sea, but a swamp.
Yep.
A swamp dial. And then he uses his shoe to try to get out, and it just pushes him all the way down.
And then he's dead.
No, he's not. You know that.
Well, that's why I went...
I'll have to talk about that later, because they do have a cover story in the manga showing what happens to him.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't need to see that.
So Chopper wins his fight.
Yay.
He continues on and ends up running into Om and Holy. I said Holly. And
he gets messed up.
He gets messed up pretty bad.
Really bad. Like, he's down pretty much the rest of the arc.
The rest of the arc, yeah. He's out.
Like, he's really injured, but he has a huge gash on his, like, stomach because of the
iron, like, balls that are coming out. With,
yeah.
like, the spikes.
It's almost it's almost kind of like barbed wire, right?
Yeah.
It was coming out in long pieces that were cutting up Chopper really badly, and it's Zoro
finds Chopper. He gets angry.
He gets really mad because he doesn't really realize that Chopper's like down until he looks over and just sees him lying there.
He's actually pretty protective of Chopper.
He's really protective of Chopper.
I think it's because he's like the youngest out of them and the smallest,
the most innocent.
I mean, Chopper can fight when he needs to, but he's
not the strongest out of the bunch.
He's still like a kid. I don't know how old he is really. I have to look that up.
He still has like when he's like in his normal form, his standard form.
Yeah.
He's like a little kid.
Yeah. So he goes over to Chopper and picks him up, and I think he puts him to the side somewhere.
Yeah, he's like, well, don't worry, we'll take care of you.
Yeah, while Zoro takes care of and not even Holy.
Just
Holy's off punching other people.
Yeah, Holy is the funniest thing of the arc. Besides the, it's literally a dog standing up, just like we would, boxing. Like, it's all like, all it needs is Rocky music in the back.
Yeah, and he's fighting some of the other like Shandians and just throwing
knocking
punches
them
left
out.
and right.
Just
and I think Zoro beats him because he tells him to sit, and he just listens to him.
Yep, he's like, oh.
And he's like, oh, I guess you listen to anybody. And then I think he told him to knock himself out or something.
Yep, and then he did that.
Himself out. But Zoro does end up beating Om. He uses his new technique, what is it, the 180-pound cannon?
Yep.
Basically, he sends like a... Oh, God, I don't even know how you would
describe
it, but it's like a long-distance attack. It's almost kind of like a beam almost, but it's like...
like loose? No, I don't...
You remember that guy in the in that filler arc that would shoot like those like wind like blade things?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, only with his swords.
It was really cool.
Yeah, and he ends up defeating him. Robin ends up fighting one of Enel's like general guys.
Yeah, he has like black hair, wearing the white robe. He's pretty much the lead of what is it? The sheep or the goat people?
Yeah, the sheep people.
Yep.
And he's like basically a wall, like how wide he is. He's got like no neck.
Nope, he was just all chin.
But very agile. Like
he could bounce and hop and
doing
run.
Backflips.
Like it was, you do you.
And he has what are called axe dials. They basically just act like an axe, so they'll cut into you. And he used that on one of the Shandians. Genbo. That was that dude that looked like he was a chef.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's got a ton of them. He just opens up his grabs like his string and he opens it up, and he just like went right on top of him and used all of them
at once
on the guy.
Their fight ended pretty fast. The only reason it lasted as long as it really did was because they were in the ruin. And
Nami was... not Nami. Robin was trying to get him out.
Because she's very protective of anything that has to do with, like, historical facts.
Any, historical...
Like artifacts.
Yeah, artifacts.
Yeah. I was looking for the right word for that, but...
historical significance.
There you go.
Yeah, anything with any kind of historical significance, she is very protective of.
And she was just trying to get him out of that area because he was destroying everything, and it was breaking her heart.
Yeah.
And they finally got him far enough to where they were by a little cliff almost.
Yeah, like a cliff.
And she used her ability to finally fight him because she's like, "All right,
Now
we're
that we're out of the ruins.
I'm about to lay the smackdown on you. And that ended really fast. She used her ability, and didn't she, like, break his neck?
I know she did a couple of things before.
I know
and then
that
he tried to use his axe dials, and she used her ability to close them in on himself.
Yep. Oh, yeah, and then it cut him.
And then as he's falling down the cliff, she used her
thing to do...
clutch, where she breaks, like, his back. Or at least that's how it should be. It looks like she's breaking people's backs when she does that, but they always end up...
moving.
Coming back from it.
It's like, dang.
Like, the first person she did on was Pell, and we hear the snap, and we're like, ooh!
But then he comes back, and I'm like, what did you do? Break on you?
Yeah, your back seems to be fine. Whatever. You know.
Not relevant.
So she defeats him. Luffy and Wiper have a fight, and it was pretty even. But I think Luffy had the upper hand a little bit. The only reason Wiper even lasted as long as he did in the fight was because he had that cannon that shot like a beam.
Yeah.
And Luffy had to dodge so much. But I'm pretty positive Luffy had the upper hand in that. Who knows what would have happened if he would have used the revenge dial, though.
I don't know.
It definitely would have hurt Luffy a lot because the impact dial was hurting him quite a bit. But if Wiper would have got close enough to use the revenge dial, I don't know how the fight would have turned out. Because it did technically kill Enel.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a bit. He and Luffy are having their fight, and Luffy ends up getting eaten by the giant snake. Remember? And Wiper ends up just going off to fight someone else. Zoro fights Brahm, I'm going to call him. He has the one with the guns.
Oh.
And this is before his fight with and he's testing out his ability, the 180 pound, and I think it was like a 90 pound.
He was just... This guy was a trial run, pretty much. He's like, oh.
I'm testing out this new ability. This is the best chance to
do it before someone actually might... You won't really stand too much of a chance, so...
Yeah.
You're not a real threat. You'll be the best person to use it against.
And he ends up beating him, but he's like, it needs a little work. Kind of difficult because Brahm had, like, guns, so he was able to stay at a distance and fight Zoro. Zoro couldn't really get that close. But thanks to that new technique, he was able to beat him. Kamakiri runs into Enel, who has now turned this into a game. A survival game. And he predicted that there would be 5 survivors.
Out of the 86?
Yeah, there was a lot of them.
It was either 86 or 96.
It was something like that, yeah. And it was pretty high.
All I remember is it had a 6 and it was either at the 80s or 90s.
Yeah, and he predicted that 5 would survive.
Would survive and be a part... Go with him.
Go with him to the Fairy Birth, which we'll get into later. So yeah, Kamakiri fights... I can't even say fights. Attempts to attack Enel.
Attempts.
Okay, thing I know. I saw it before.
Just... I like how it goes up slow. It's just like, hey there.
Like, remember me?
Yeah, I know you just right-click to go out, but here I am.
Yeah. Anyway. Enel gave him, 5 minutes, 10 minutes to do whatever he wanted?
Yeah, with no... He wasn't going to fight back.
Yeah, he wasn't gonna
I'm just going to sit here, and you do... Because he was on a tree.
Yeah, he was sitting on a tree branch.
Crisscross applesauce. Pretty much.
Just like, do whatever you want.
You got 5 minutes,
I'll just sit here.
You go.
And nothing he did was working.
Didn't he use a dial too?
Yeah, he tried to use a dial too, I believe. But
it wasn't the revenge dial.
No, he was
used
against Wiper using it. He would never use that. I think it was something to help him get away, like a smoke dial.
Yeah, he had some kind of dial with him.
But yeah, he tried doing everything he could, but I mean, Enel's made of lightning. He's a Logia type. So nothing he did would work. His spear was going into him, and it was causing him to get shocked.
Yep.
Because it's a metal spear, so...
He had no chance. And the guy tried to escape and run off to go warn Wiper that...
They had no chance of winning.
They could not defeat him, but the time was already up. And should have died. Should have died.
Again, another person that should have died.
And doesn't he get blasted too with lightning?
Like 60 million volts or something.
Yeah.
60 million volts of lightning.
And you didn't die.
I mean, I know they're tough and all, but
They're Shandians.
I know they're warriors of Shandia, but
come on.
He was black after he got.
He was charred.
Yeah.
Like charred.
Charred black. Well, maybe more of a grayish.
Yeah.
Color.
Like all the ash and stuff because he was that charred.
And he ends up running. Lockie ends up running into him, the female.
Yeah. And seeing that he's been all
defeated,
and
he tells her to tell Wiper that they have no chance of winning and they should retreat. At this point, when she finds him, Zoro's fighting Ohm. He's in there trying to fight the snake because he wants to kill the snake, even though the snake is just defending himself. And he's kind of crazy right now because Luffy's inside of him,
thinking he's a cave,
trying to punch his way out and hurting him a lot.
He's like, ugh, indigestion.
But nothing he's doing is hurting the snake. The snake's got some really tough scales.
It's super thick. Like, even Zoro's swords were...
We're not doing anything. Yeah, Luffy is just in there trying to punch his way out.
This is a really strong cave.
Nami and
the
little girl Isa
get eaten.
And Gunfall and Pierre go in there to try to help get them out. It was just...
There was a bunch of people in the snake making a mess.
Yeah. And Enel ends up zapping Lockie in the head with his lightning.
In front of Wiper. Because there's like, what is that? Like a cage?
Yeah.
With a barbed wire?
All made like a cage with the wire stuff that he had, yeah.
Yeah, she got blasted. Again.
Somebody else who should have probably been dead.
She should have died. She got zapped really strong. In the head.
Like, the brain area.
Like, it wasn't even like, oh, maybe it wasn't. No. She got zapped in the dome. She shouldn't have made it either.
Shouldn't have made it.
When she walked out, I was like, what? What?
So she's out. Nami and Ganfall and Usopp and Sanji, before all this, were trying to get to the outside of the island. And they got attacked by Satori's brothers.
Oh, yeah.
I have their names here. Oh, Hotori and Kotori.
Of course.
And they're angry because their brother was defeated, so they want revenge.
Yeah.
Sanji and Usopp are out because Enel had paid them a visit and defeated both of them. So Nami and Gunfall are the only two they're able to defend them. And Nami is like, you know what, they always defend me.
So I'm gonna...
It's my turn.
To pull my own weight, and I'm gonna protect you guys.
Yeah. And Gunfall tells her, go and grab my gauntlet. There's an impact dial in there. And put it on. And she does and ends up using it on one of them. I don't remember who. Because they look the same.
They did. I think it was Hattori, though.
Was it Hattori?
I think it was Hattori.
Okay. I forget what happened to Hattori. Did Gunfall beat him?
Each one of them took one person.
Yeah, I think Gunfall defeated Hattori. And Hattori was defeated by Nami after she used the impact dial on him. Hurting her arm.
Yeah, she was like, ah!
She's basically a normal person. So using an impact dial is going to hurt. Same with Usopp. He's basically a normal person.
Yeah.
Too. He's just got his gadgets and stuff. But
Enel shows up after that.
No, before that, because he defeated Sanji and Usopp.
Oh yeah.
Basically, just telling him, I'm not here to fight you. I'm just here to tell you what's going on.
What's going down?
Yeah. And then he leaves, and that's when he defeated Kamakiri. Kanis and her dad show up to help them out.
With their very loud boat type thing.
That was the one with the bull. Yeah. Like, just blasting everywhere.
Like, no, I'm not trying to be inconspicuous. I'm right here.
And while they're in there, before they even get in there, they're like, maybe we should make it louder so they can hear us.
And they can find us.
And they find them, and they're like, oh, well, we'll take the ship. You guys go and help everybody else. And Kanis is taking care of Sanji and them, and
With
His
Sue.
dad is like helping get the ship out there, and they get to the outside, and they run into one of Enel's like not a priest, but like
the goat people or the sheep people.
No, they look like one of the Skypeans.
Oh.
I forget what they called them. But he's running out and trying to tell him, we gotta get out of here. And Enel's crazy and wants to destroy everything.
Oh.
The arc is finished, and now he's just decided to destroy it all. And that's when he pushes Canis onto the boat.
Yep.
And he takes a blast from Enel.
Dead.
Should be dead.
Dead. Dead. Count number 3. Dead.
Of people that should be dead. And the guy that was with him. So
Dead.
4.
4.
4 that should be dead.
Death count of 4. Should be dead.
So they finish off, all of Enel's people. The only ones left are Robin, Zoro, Wiper, Ganfall, and Nami. Because she ends up getting spit out of the snake.
Yeah.
They get out of the snake. Luffy is still in there with Isa. So Enel's pretty happy with himself.
It's like, yay.
Yep, my prediction came true. 5 people. And now all of you can come with me to Fairy Birth. And they're like...
No. We're not doing that.
Yeah, we'd rather just kill you. I think Ganfall was the first to lose.
He was.
He was the first
Him
one
and
to get defeated.
Pierre.
Him and...
No.
Pierre was inside of the snake.
Yeah.
Because he was going to help
Luffy and
Isa get out. So Ganfall fell first. Then Wiper attacks him and uses the revenge dial on him. And in case some of you are wondering, I'm sure you're not, because you watched it with us, hopefully. The reason he's able to use it on Enel is because his skate things that he's wearing are made out of sea stone. The
thing that makes him vulnerable.
Oh god, what's the Japanese name for? The sea stone. That's what I'm going to call it. So he's got him wrapped around Enel so that he won't get away. And then he uses the revenge dial on him. Like, right on his chest. Hurting his arm even more. Pretty much killing Enel. He's on the ground. And they're like, okay, great.
This is what we needed.
Mm-hmm. And then Enel
comes back.
Starts his heart back up. It was like one of those...
electrical... It was almost like a defibrillator?
Yeah, defibrillator.
Thank you, video games.
His chest is like going up.
Like...
And after like 3 or 4 of those, he's alive. And is like, well, it was a nice try, but...
That was a good one. You did that. I'll give you that.
Yeah, but now that I know you have Sea Stone, yeah, we're not going to let you touch me again.
Yep.
And he defeats Wiper, then Zoro, and I think Robin was the last.
Yeah. Nami was hiding behind like a rock?
Kind of like a wall.
Or something.
Yeah, it was like a wall that was partially destroyed. And she comes out and she's like,
I'll go with you.
Yeah, I'll go with you if the option is still available. And he's like, alright, let's go.
He's like, alright, dang, I got nobody else, so...
Takes her, they go to the Ark, which is huge.
It's enormous.
For just 2 people. I mean, he could have just made like a little boat.
Even if it was for 5 people. Yeah. Is that necessary?
I guess maybe because of all the gears and stuff that was needed to make it fly.
And to take absorb all the electricity?
Yeah, from the gold that he had on there. But, huge!
Nonetheless.
Luffy and Isa and Pierre end up getting out of the snake, seeing everybody on the ground.
Just like all mangled.
I should also mention they got out of the snake because Enel had attacked the snake, knocking him out. Luffy gets out, sees what happened, talks to Robin about it, and she explains that Nami went with Enel, they went to the Ark,
you need to
all
go...
this and that. He's planning on destroying everything, because they had already told it. The girl had told him all that. Had
Yep.
told Viper all that, so they knew all of it.
They knew the plan.
So Luffy has Isa because she's able to
Hear voices.
hear voices. She's. Oh, I can't actually tell you what it's called yet because they haven't said the official name of what it's called.
It's almost kind of like...
It's basically the...
same abilities that...
The mantra.
Yeah.
Or mantra or whatever.
It's
got an official name, though. That's not the official name.
Okay.
That's why I don't want to say it, though, because...
That's what we're going to call it right now, guys, because no spoils for Bell.
Yeah. So she's like, okay, they're over here. So
I can hear two
voices. And they start going there. And I think before they even enter the cave where the Ark is, Enel's like, what is this?
Somebody's here.
I sense other people. Or, like, hear other people or something.
They both had the same ability. Enel and
the
Isa.
girl.
Yeah.
Only Enel's was more powerful.
Well, yeah, he could tell...
The entire island, like,
a
all
larger distance
over.
than probably she
Because he actually explains it. It's because of his ability. He can, like, get through the electrical currents in the air and reach further distances than other people.
Okay.
That scared me a little.
It did! I'm not gonna lie, I was like... My shocked face. I was like...
Do you want to take a break and eat first, or...?
Are we gonna remember where we left off? Okay. Yes.
We're gonna take a quick break.
Yay! Ooh! We're back.
We're back. We had to go eat dinner. That is why the door opened.
Yeah, wasn't a spirit, guys. I know.
Not like we thought.
We thought we were gonna die, but it was just the grandma.
Yeah, it's just my grandma. Poking her head in to say the dinner was ready. So, we left off with...
Luffy going after Enel.
Yeah, Isa just told him that she can
Hear
the two voices, and they're heading in the direction that
They're-
Enel and Nami are at.
Yep.
And Enel knows that Luffy is on his way.
Because he can sense them.
He just doesn't know who it is because he expected just 5 people to be alive.
Yep, he didn't... And as far as he knows, they were all incapacitated.
Yeah, incapacitated. They end up arriving at the Ark, and Enel's already kind of getting it started.
It's like starting to go up, right?
Starting to, and Luffy uses, his stretchy powers to get up onto the Ark. Luffy's not really worried.
No.
Not because, Enel's not powerful, but he's mad.
Yeah. When he's mad, he doesn't really think anything through.
Yeah. But, luckily, as it turns out, Luffy is basically immune to Enel's attacks.
He's rubber!
Yes.
Duh. Didn't even think about that while I was watching it. I was so stressed the whole time.
Like, how is Luffy going to deal with this
I
guy?
was like, it's over. I don't know how he's gonna do it. He's so powerful. He's rubber. Duh. That's how he's gonna do it. Blonde moment.
Yeah. So, Enel, just as shocked as Bell that Luffy is not getting hurt by his attacks, gets punched in the gut. Or kicked in the gut, actually.
It was pretty brutal.
Thinking, okay, well, I'm still lightning. He's still not going to be able to hurt me. And then, bam.
And then he's kicked really far. He's not expecting it. He's like, whoa.
One of the few times that day that he's felt pain. The other time being Wiper.
Yeah.
But now it's a lingering pain because he's actually alive while it still hurts.
Yeah.
So Luffy and Enel are having their fight.
It's a good fight.
Enel has still kind of got the upper hand because he can still predict Luffy's abilities and what he's going to do. Luffy does try to bypass that by doing attacks that are more luck-based. Like he basically clears his mind and becomes basically kind of like paper.
Yeah, he's like...
Enel's throwing attacks and he's just... Like the wind is blowing him to the left or right, or...
He's kind of walking how he does when he doesn't have meat.
Yeah. But then he's all like, well, I can't really attack him like this. And then he's like thinking, he goes, oh, okay, I'll do this. And he kind of just goes to his knees and his arms are all dangly and he's like slithers over to the wall and just starts hitting the wall with his fists and his
his gum.
in his feet. And the ricochet is what's
hitting
Enel because he can't predict it.
Because he doesn't even know.
Yeah, they're just flying all over the place. He doesn't know where they're going to go. They're just randomly flying in the air.
One of them's going to hit him.
A bunch of them hit him. He gets hit a lot.
This is the only time, besides Wiper, that we really see anything really happen to Enel. Same with him. He did not expect it at all. The shocked face was real.
Mm-hmm. Especially since, I guess, they've never heard of rubber since they don't have it up there.
Since they're in the sky.
So when Luffy told him he's a rubber man, he's like,
what?
Rubber?
What are you?
Like, what is that? Now he knows. It is something that does not conduct electricity and actually, like, disperses it.
Yeah.
Gets rid of it. Nullifies it. And now, like I said, he still ends up getting the upper hand because he can predict the moves. And he can, like, heat up his spear.
Yeah.
Or trident, actually. And does end up, like, stabbing Luffy once or twice. And then attaches a giant gold ball to Luffy's hand. And then just pushes him off the arc.
Which weighs him down and he's falling...
Yeah.
Pretty far.
It is a very, very heavy gold ball. Because gold is not light.
No, especially for how big the gold ball was.
It was bigger than Luffy?
Way bigger.
It was
way bigger. Because when he's dragging it, running up later on, you could see, like, the difference.
After that, Nami is the only one left on the arc. And she's already changed her mind. I mean, she didn't plan on going anyway. But now she's just right out telling him,
I'm not going.
I'm not going. Because what's the point in
living
if you can't be with
your friends,
the people you care about? And so now he's like, oh, okay, I guess I'll just
go by myself.
I'll kill you now. So he's about to, but Usopp and Sanji show up.
They're awake now.
They had woken up, and Sanji, being Sanji, is like, where's Nami?
Where's Nami? Does Robin tell him?
No,
he just...
Conus.
That's right.
No, because Conus isn't there.
He
just notices the arc in the sky.
And that she's missing.
I think she's got to be up there.
There's no other place for her to...
So him and Usopp, Usopp's basically dragged up there. He doesn't want to go.
But when does Usopp ever want to go anywhere where there's danger?
I was going to say, it's nothing new with Usopp. And then Conus comes back and she's like, where are they? Because she went to go to, is it Angel Island?
Yeah.
She went to go to Angel Island to tell everybody that Enel is going to destroy everything.
And they need to evacuate. If not, they're all going to die.
And she eventually convinces everybody.
Yeah, because she, God didn't place judgment on her when she was saying...
That she didn't believe in.
Didn't believe in him.
Yeah, that he's basically not her god.
Yeah, and then everyone backed up because, they're expecting her to get blasted down. And nothing happens. And that's when they really start to think,
okay,
maybe she's actually telling the truth. And that's when all sheer panic breaks down. Because they were like, oh god!
Yeah. The Wiper Rays actually help here.
Yeah.
To help evacuate everybody.
They go get the Shandians.
Actually, they don't. But the people in the town are like, somebody needs to go tell them. Because they're going to die too if nobody goes and lets them know what's going on.
Yeah.
Which was really cool. They've been having a war, but they even thought about them. Like, hey, we got to go let them know what's happening.
It's like, even though we're fighting each other, there's a bigger issue here.
Yeah.
We'll deal with us after.
Yeah.
Which was pretty dope.
Yeah, that was very, very, very cool. Because usually, sometimes,
they're like,
two opposing forces are going to be like, well, let them die, whatever.
It's like, they don't need to know. Let's just get our people out.
But they're like, no, we got to go tell them. So they got a boat, and a bunch of them went over there and told them, hey, Enel is about to destroy everything. So you guys need to get on your boats and evacuate we're about to leave Sky Island. We're going to go down to the, like...
Down to the...
They were going to go to the Blue Sea, that's what they call it, right?
Yeah.
Because, as far as they knew, there was no way anybody was going to stop Enel, and everything was just going to get destroyed.
So they were already planning to just,
leave.
They all need to go. Everyone's fleeing. I know we got her name written
Amazon?
there. Amazon. She's taking all kinds of pictures, like, of everybody. No one's paying because they're evacuating, but yet she's like...
Yeah, she's like, you all have to pay the
exiting
fee, yeah.
It's got to pay so much to get in, you got to pay to leave.
And they're like, look, Enel's about to kill everybody. Let's just go. Get her on a boat.
They just grab her. They're like, ah!
Zoro and everybody wakes up. They've all been taken up to, like, the next level because they do find the City of Gold. It's all the way down at the bottom.
Yep.
And I think it's Robin.
Yeah, who finds it.
No, that takes them all up using her ability. And now they're just like, okay, he's in his arc.
What are we gonna do?
Yeah. Luffy is still trying to get back up.
He's running up the giant...
Giant Jack.
Yeah. Running all the way up there, but he's being weighed down by,
the ball of gold.
Because that's very heavy.
Nami uses her waiver to go and chase after him.
Yeah, because he's going up there to get Nami. That's why he's running back up to the Ark. Because last he knew, she was still
on there. The Ark. But Sanji and... Well, basically Sanji. Usopp helped.
Yeah, he did.
He did try to distract Enel and did a pretty good job. But ultimately it was Sanji who got both of them off and took a couple of Enel's attacks. And then Usopp went back and saved Sanji.
Which was a good on Usopp's part, because he's kind of a coward.
Kind of, but I mean, it is his friend.
Which is good. He's willing to risk it all for his friends.
Yeah.
It's the only time
I guess
Usopp will...
I'm surprised Enel didn't see it coming, though.
Yeah, like he didn't
Maybe he was too distracted, because Sanji had done something to the Ark to keep it from moving.
Oh yeah, he messed up all the gears on the inside.
Yeah, so Enel was too busy dealing with that, I think, to even care about what
was
Usopp
going
and
on.
them were going to do. I mean, as far as he's concerned, there's nothing they could do anyway.
Yeah, they're not a huge threat.
Yeah, so I don't think he really cared. But Usopp went back up, got Sanji off of the ship, off the Ark, and then they went back down to the surface, where that's when Nami found out that Luffy ran up the giant Jack to go and get her, because he thinks she's still up there.
She's like, he's going up there for me.
And then she goes and chases him.
On the waiver. Yep.
And Enel gets the Ark working again. And then Luffy is like he's still not anywhere near where Enel is at.
No, he's way down.
And was starting to go back up. But Enel destroyed part of the Jack.
And it wasn't starting to...
Yeah, he destroyed the top part.
Yep.
So that Luffy couldn't reach him. And then Nami got the idea of making the giant Jack fall in the direction that...
Oh, so they could launch off of there and...
Yeah, with the waiver, make a jump so that Luffy would be able to reach it.
Yep, that's right.
Which he does... He's able to reach it, but he never actually lands on the Ark.
Yeah.
He's always, like, in the air. Oh my god, what was that ability Enel used?
Which one?
The huge one that destroyed...
Oh, where he, like, was absorbing, like, the cloud?
Yeah, like
and it was going over all the town?
Yeah.
Oh my god. I don't remember what it was called. But that attack was...
insane.
Because that's what was making everyone afraid, too, because they could just see... What was it? A big, like... black cloud?
Yeah, it was a black cloud.
That was just growing and growing and growing. It was going to get big enough to actually cover all of Sky Island, right?
Yeah. And he destroys Angel Island.
Yeah.
As like a show of, look, this is what I can do. And that's not even the extent of that power.
No, it wasn't even like halfway or something.
Then he starts making a bigger one to take out everything. And Luffy uses both himself and the gold ball to dissipate all of the electricity inside of the ball. Basically, kind of making it detonate in the air. If I remember that correctly.
Yeah, because I don't remember what happened before that. Because I feel like something happened before he started absorbing it. But yeah, he does something and then collects all of the sheer electricity when it's getting shot down. Mm-hmm. It's going into the gold, going into him.
And then it just... Yeah.
Explodes.
Then, Enel, still angry because Luffy is still alive and he destroyed his ability.
Yep.
Or I should say attack. Becomes like this huge, giant electric thing to fight Luffy again, who's charging at him and gets stabbed with the trident that he's got. I think he had 2, right? But he used 1.
Yeah.
And I remember him saying something. Oh, it was like in the side, like towards the back, because Luffy was like using the gold ball, pushing it back.
Yeah.
And he said the ball is pushing you further into my trident.
Yeah, that's right.
Because Luffy was getting ready to do his final attack, which ended up being a Gum Gum rifle, which is where he twists his arm, kind of like he's wringing it out, and then when he brings it back, it undoes itself and hits Enel. Enel thought that it was... He knew what he was going to do. But because of the gold ball, it moved so fast that there was no way he can get out of the way.
It was just...
Because that's what he said that before it even hit him.
Yeah.
It's fast, and then boom. And then it pushes him into the bell, which we did not mention at all.
No. That's why Enel's trying to go up there. He's trying to go up there to get...
The gold bell from...
the Shandians. It's what they... Oh my gosh. I don't remember exactly.
The Shandian warrior Talgara was going to ring the bell.
Oh, so Noland could
find them again, which we didn't get into at all, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
Hits Enel into the bell, knocking the bell off of where it was into the white sea, and Enel down in there, along with the Ark.
Yep.
Finishing him off, letting Cricket know that the bell is up in the sky because it's really loud.
You could hear it
from all the way up there, and you can see Luffy's shadow.
Yeah.
like how they saw the 3 shadows in the start of the arc. They saw Luffy's shadow.
Which they were like, he did it. It's there.
Yeah. That was also a big part because they informed Wiper that the reason Luffy was so adamant in ringing the bell was because Noland's descendant was down in the blue sea still searching for that bell, the island. And that actually caused him to help them to ring the bell, because at first he's like, you guys don't have any right to ring this bell. This is ours. We are the ones that
ring it.
And that's when Robin explains everything and he helps out, because now there's a actual reason to ring the bell, to have Luffy ring the bell so that Noland's descendant can hear it
and stop searching the sea, and all is done, which makes Wiper very
emotional,
very, very emotional, because then he didn't even know that he had a descendant.
Yeah, Noland, he didn't know Noland had anybody else, like a descendant out there. He thought once Noland died, that was it. And then when they told him that his descendant is down there, they told him his name and everything, he's all okay. I'm not saying he said it. He's like, I'm assuming he's thinking to himself, okay, I got to help them ring this bell so that he can hear it and know that we're still here. So yeah, they're cutting down the giant jack so that it can lean, so Luffy can get up there. Zoro cut off part of it, and then he got zapped.
Yep.
Usopp helped out, and he got it to move a little, but not too much, because he's got only so much he can do.
Yeah. And
then Wiper used the revenge dial again.
Should be dead.
And used it to finally push it towards that direction. After Enel landed in the water, I guess he landed on the ark, and the ark just started rising again. I don't see any other way for him to get up if it was acting as actual water to Luffy. You see that he's not dead. Usually, I know none of the villains are actually dead, but usually you see them knocked out, and that's the last you see of them, really.
But he's the only one we've ever actually seen, like, they show he's still alive.
He's still there, on his ark. He's like, whatever, I don't care. I'm just going to go to my destination, which was the moon. Fairy birth was the moon. So he's going off to where he wanted to go by himself. I don't know how Nami or them would have survived a trip to the moon.
Yeah, exactly.
He would have got up there and they would have just died. And
because they wouldn't have been able to breathe.
And then the Shandians, the Skypeans, the crew, the wolves, the giant snake, all have a party.
Yeah, Wiper wakes up to his chief.
Sees a fire outside and is like, are we under attack?
We're on war! War started! Oh my god! And they're all just partying.
Yeah, the chief's like, calm down.
It's not that serious.
It's just a party. Get out there and have something to eat or drink. And
then everybody and their mama, who we saw get obliterated. Conus is dead.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Conus is dead. All of the Wiper Rays who we thought were zapped with Angel Island.
Yeah, no, they were somehow alive.
Kamakiri was alive. Locky was alive. Wiper. I know one guy complained, on the comments. I don't know if you saw it. He wrote, this huge comment about it.
Oh, no, I usually don't read the long ones.
About us complaining about Wiper still being alive.
Well, I'm not trying to say... Alright, let me get this out here. I'm not trying to say I don't like Wiper and that I don't want him to be alive, but it's just they made such a big deal the whole time about how much damage it did, what that thing would do, how it would kill them, that he used it so many times. Didn't just use it once, didn't just use it twice, he used it more than that.
Three or
four times. And he was still able to walk. He didn't lose any body parts, nothing.
He did have broken bones, but that was about
it. It's just, for as much as they stressed how much damage that did, it just didn't match up to him actually still being able to be alive without any fatal or serious injuries besides broken bones. But
yeah. I mean, broken bones are pretty serious.
They're pretty serious, but he wasn't missing a limb or anything like that, which he should have at least. Along with all these other characters. I don't want these people to be personally dead. It's just, I don't see how. Especially Conus is dead.
He's just a regular person, and he got zapped with...
so much force. The ground was gone. How'd you
survive?
How did he survive that?
And he didn't even look hurt. His clothes weren't even singed.
Nothing. So that's all I'm saying is that... these people survived some things that I don't really think they should have survived. Especially the normal... people.
Okay, maybe I can forgive Wiper.
Yeah, just alright, fine. But the other people, how did they survive? All the Skypeans made it. All the Shandorians seem to have made it. Everyone made it. Nobody died.
And I know Kamakiri and Locky are warriors, but they're not nearly as powerful as Wiper.
Exactly.
And Locky got zapped in the brain by Enel. And Kamakiri got 60 million volts
into him. So, it just doesn't make sense to me how they didn't die. And I get it. Oda doesn't want nobody to die. Or doesn't like when characters die. It's just that's going to be a constant thing with me, at least. Is anytime someone comes back that was clearly supposed to be dead, I don't feasibly see any way that they could have survived, I'm gonna complain.
Yeah.
It's just what's going to happen.
So, Enel went to the moon. The Shandians and the Skypeans ended their war and are now living peacefully on Upper Yard. Luffy and them, they went back into the snake to take all of the gold that was in there.
Yep.
We do find out that Gold Roger was on Skypiea.
Yeah, because it was written on the
bell, saying that he was there.
He's been everywhere.
Basically, a Gold D. Roger was here kind of.
Yeah, it really was. Like something you see like on a bathroom stall.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? How are you up here?
Like Troy was here. That's basically what it was.
It really was.
My question for that, though, is how is he able to write in the gold?
Exactly. That is true.
Because
it was
wasn't
pretty clear, too.
It wasn't like he just got something and wrote on the gold. It, like, imprinted in the gold.
He, like, carved into it.
Plus, that language has not been used for, like... Ever.
Like, they couldn't even...
Yeah, they can't even read it. And he was writing in the same language.
So, I don't know. I want to learn more about him, specifically. Just because... I get it. He's, like, was the number one...
Pirate at the time.
But it's just, like... He seems just to have...
All mysterious abilities that they just give hints at, but don't actually explain, like, okay,
anything.
This is why he had it, or this is what he's all about.
No, it's just super kind of vague, but they'll give, like, little things, and you're like, what?
The only thing I can really say about him, though, is they give you little hints about him
throughout the whole thing? Okay.
Like, you'll learn little by little as the series goes on.
About him? Okay.
They're not going to... They never do, like everybody else, where they give a whole backstory.
Oh, no, you just kind of have to collect...
You just collect data, piece by piece, as they go through the Grand Line.
Okay. Alright, I'll have to remember.
Yeah. So keep an eye out for stuff. Like this one, with him on Sky Island, and, what do you call it? Drum Island, where they mentioned the whole D thing. That's a whole thing with Goldie Roger as well. Not just him, but like everybody with a D.
With a D?
There's all kinds of little hints about him throughout the series. But they don't actually straight up tell you
anything.
Except for one thing, and that's coming later.
Okay.
Like much later. So Luffy and them steal all the gold inside of the snake. I can't even say they steal it because the snake is not...
It's sleeping.
They're about to give Robin the whole bell. The pillar that broke off of the bell. They're like, do you want this? I mean, it just broke off. We can't reattach it. And we want to thank you. So if you want it...
You could take it.
I don't know how they were going to carry it.
There was no way. Did you see all the people it took to...
Not only that, but the pillar was bigger than their ship.
So it kind of worked out that they thought that it was an angry mob.
Trying to stop them from taking their gold.
And they end up running off.
Yeah, then Robin's like, well, I guess they don't want it. And then she runs off. And like, well, what are we supposed to do with this thing now?
Right. And then Conus and them lead them
to where they need to go.
For the exit.
Giving them an octopus that becomes like a hot air balloon and takes them down
peacefully.
Up until a certain point where they just start falling.
Because it's deflating.
Into the filler arc that we get into. Which actually, I believe in the manga, they just land near Long
Oh, okay.
Island. So, we did get a few things out of this arc. Mantra.
Yep.
Which becomes bigger later on. Because they're not the only ones who can use it.
Oh,
and like I said, it has a different name as well. You'll learn about that when you learn about some other abilities that come up later. We learned that... learned about Goldie Roger a little bit.
Yep. Learned a bit about Noland the Liar.
Yeah, we learned about Noland the Liar.
Because it wasn't the first time we've heard about Noland, I don't feel like.
Well, the first time we heard about him was in Jaya.
Yeah.
Other than that we never heard about him before, as far as I remember. What else? We saw Blackbeard, met him, and his motivation right now, anyway.
What he's trying to accomplish. That they're looking for someone to fill...
high-profile
person, to fill that slot.
In the Shichibukai. Now that Crocodile has been removed.
Yep.
Since he tried to take over a whole kingdom. So you try to take over a kingdom and you lose your position. I mean, come on. You could look past that once. I guess we can count what we just watched today with Bellamy.
Do we count that though? Because is that technically a part of this? That's what I didn't bring that up because I don't know.
I think we can kind of count it because it's still on Jaya.
Yeah.
If you want to count it.
Can we count it? Or is that a part of the second discussion?
I mean, I think technically it takes place in this next saga, but I mean, it did happen on Jaya.
Okay, so we just won't talk about that. We'll talk about it a little bit. Okay.
Nah, let's just skip it.
Okay.
We'll talk about it in the next saga.
Sorry about that.
We're trying to think about, like, well, should we add it? Should we not add it?
I was thinking about that. There were some things that we watched that was like...
That was technically in the
part
same,
of this, but do
section. Yeah. We'll just leave it.
Yeah, so that way we have something to talk about.
Next time. Let's see. Think
that's it.
About it.
Yeah, because that's where it technically ends. And
Enel was pretty powerful.
He was really powerful.
Definitely would be a higher up villain if he was in the actual sea. But Luffy, I'm going to just give a little hint here. Luffy is correct that there are tons of people who could defeat him.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
It's the only hint I'm giving. And that's not even really much of a hint. That's just like a teaser.
Like an FYI, just so you know.
There are tons of people who would be able to defeat Enel. Still left in the Grand Line. However, he would still be, in my opinion, I think one of the higher villains.
Like what, up in the top 10?
Yeah. I think Oda even stated that he would be a higher villain. Like one of the stronger
villains
in the Grand Line if he was actually down in the Blue Sea.
Okay.
Overall, what did you think of the arc?
Overall, I enjoyed the arc. I felt like the information given was very useful. I liked seeing a little struggle with the crew. Because I do like it, but then I don't. Because then I get anxiety. And I get so nervous. Because I don't want nothing to happen to them. I'm very attached.
She's getting a little anxiety in the first few episodes we watched for the next saga.
Yeah, I am. It's getting really nerve-wracking. So I don't want anything to happen to them. But at the same time, I like that there's a little bit of a struggle. So it's not just like, oh, no one can defeat them. They're the best. Because right now they're still a small crew.
7 people.
In a small ship compared to
everybody else's ship.
Everybody else. That, I don't know, I really liked it. I liked them going into the sky.
And I know I said at one point that the arc did not get a lot of praise. Like, it was not very liked when it first came out. I remember saying that and people being like, what are you talking about? When it first came out, I read a lot of stuff, like forums and stuff from fans, and they were like,
unhappy.
There would be stuff about, like, what was your favorite arc at the time and your least favorite, and Skypiea would always be towards the least favorite.
Aww.
But my guess as to why that is because a lot of the stuff that's mentioned in there isn't actually really touched upon until much later, so you don't realize how important a lot of the stuff in the arc is
until the show progresses further on.
Because there are things that are like I brought up about mantra. It becomes much more important later on. There's also a couple of other things that you kind of learn here that do get brought up again later on that make more sense and become more impactful. Useful. So I'm assuming the reason at the time it was released, more people didn't like it, is because there were things in there that weren't really touched upon until much later and then made more sense.
Gotcha. Okay.
But now that it's actually progressed and people know more, they look back at the arc and go, man, that arc was actually really important.
Makes sense. So what would you rate it?
I've always liked Skypiea and Jaya. Like, even when I first watched it, I thought it was really good. But I'm very easy when it comes to entertaining. I'm sure a lot of you know that. I haven't watched a show yet that I've given a really bad rating. I think the lowest I've given is a 7.
Yeah.
But Skypiea I really enjoy. I mean, I liked Enel as a villain.
He was a good villain.
I liked his priests, even though, I mean, they were kind of funny at times, especially that one guy that you... yeah, that guy. Oh god, what's his name again? Gedatsu. And Holy was funny.
Oh my god, Holy was so funny.
Conus I thought was likable. Her dad was kind of annoying.
Kinda.
Other than the fact that, like we brought up earlier, a lot of people didn't really die that were supposed to die.
Yeah,
or at least
that bothers me.
Should have been dead. But I kind of expect that now from One Piece, where I'm like, well, you know, I don't really expect them to be dead anymore. I'm just going to assume that they're going to come back later and be like, oh, look, I'm fine. Yeah, that guy.
Look at that face, guys. That's the face of someone that just...
Oh, I said I was going to talk about what happened to him. Because they did a cover story thing with him.
Okay.
He ends up landing on some island and starts helping out, like around... like
where? In the
village.
Blue Sea?
In the Blue Sea. Like he goes all the way through the clouds.
Okay.
Because he used his boot to push down. He goes all the way through.
Oh, okay.
And ends up landing on another island. And starts helping out around there. And I think actually gets a job working for somebody and stuff like that.
I wonder if he makes those faces.
I think he still does.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, he ends up... He doesn't, because he's not a bad guy still. He does end up helping that village and staying there.
So he becomes an average Joe.
Just an average guy. Stronger than most. But yeah, he becomes like an average guy on this island. And just starts, like, gets a job and stuff.
He's like, I'm done being a bad guy.
Yeah.
It's not working out.
There is also a cover story for Enel.
For Enel?
After he left and went to the moon.
Is that spoiler?
Well, they're not going to show it in the anime.
Okay.
At least they haven't yet. I don't know if they plan on doing it at any point. But for right now, they have not.
Okay.
So, Enel, he makes it to the moon.
Oh, he does actually?
He does make it to the moon. There was a civilization up there that came down to Earth, and it was like the Skypeans.
Mm-hmm.
He ends up fighting space pirates that look like a fox and something else. Defeating them really easily because, you know, he's lightning. Yeah. And helping out these like little robot things that were made on the moon by the people that used to live there, or a specific scientist. And they take him to the lair where he activates all of the robots that were still there.
Oh. And
has himself like an army of robots. Little tiny robots, like about this big. I forget, they look like something. Let me see. Enel cover story. Enel's Great Space Operations. I'll just click on this.
Oh my god. That's his robots?
That's his robots.
They're adorable.
And so, yeah, he's got this little army of robots, and this is the city on the moon. So, let me see this, actually. So you all can see, too. I accidentally started Photoshop. Oh. Sorry, guys. Yeah. See? Got 18 days left. Close that.
It's not wanting to close.
I know. It's so slow. There we go. See? There we go.
Ta-da! Adorbs.
Yeah. So he has this little army of robots, and as far as I know, one of the big theories is that Enel will eventually come back towards the end of this show.
That's what it seems like. That's something that would come back, especially since they're setting him up with an
army.
An army.
And he is still really powerful.
I don't see Oda just
forgetting about him. So yeah, that's a theory that he'll show up again towards the end of the show. But that's what happens to him. That's what happens to Getatsu. I don't think there's any other cover stories as far as the others go, because I'm pretty sure they just got killed or arrested or whatever.
Something happened to them.
They don't really kill anybody in this.
Nobody dies.
Unless they're like in a flashback or like nobody that matters.
You're irrelevant.
But yeah, Skypiea I think would be in my top 5.
Top 5?
Yeah, arcs. What about you? I mean, I know you haven't seen too many.
Yeah, I was like, I can't do like a top 5 because that'd be pretty much all of it. I enjoyed it. The last arc we watched is so far my favorite.
Alabasta.
So, I'd say maybe... I don't know, it's pretty close. But Alabasta was just so dope.
There was a lot going on in Alabasta.
There was a lot going on in that arc.
A lot of feels.
Saga. A lot of everything.
A lot of false feels that should not have been given. Hell.
Gosh.
But yeah.
It was good. I'd give it a solid 8, 8.5.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it a lot.
It's a really good arc. And like I said, I liked it the first time I saw it, but again,
easily amused.
I'm easily amused. So I think that's
it.
Just about it. What do you think of Bellamy?
Knowing what we just...
Like what we know about him and plus what you just saw. Let's add that into.
Is he dead? I know that he doesn't kill him, but...
Then you know he's not.
He's just so cocky and has like the worst attitude. But then again, he's a pirate, so... Not everyone can be like Luffy and them.
No, I'm laid back and let's just have a good adventure.
Let's just have a good time, guys! No. He seems like he'll be a real issue. Him and those people.
His crew.
I feel like there'll be a real issue whenever he does. We re-see him again.
Yeah. Because
I'm not sure if we're going to see him in this arc that we're watching right now, or if it'll be maybe the next arc after that. But I see him coming back with a vengeance, especially since he was kind of
humiliated
in front of like everybody. Like, because then, since he is so cocky, he did hurt his pride. And I feel like that's just gonna fuel his rage.
Okay. Let's see. Blackbeard.
He's kind of cool. He's kind of cool. He has a funny attitude.
You haven't even seen his ability yet either.
No, so I'm just going off of him talking with Luffy and what we saw kind of briefly. Because it wasn't a whole lot. But at the moment, he seems kind of cool. And like he'll be an interesting, like, I don't know if I want to call him a villain, but somewhat interesting to go against Luffy. That will be an enjoyable, like...
Clash. Let's see, who else can we discuss? Oh yeah, they put Ganfall back in as God.
Yep, he's now God because they feel that he was the only person that could, really help out everyone, restore peace, because even though they are all living together, there's a lot of damage that's been done.
It's gonna take a while.
Was it 400 years?
Yeah,
that they were fighting in that war?
It's gonna take a while before all of that
trust and hostility, resentment, it all like actually subsides. So
yeah,
he is the best person to be like God.
Even the Shandian said that.
Yep.
The chief was like, "Yeah, we want you to be God, because you're the only one who." Well, he was trying to mend things between them before.
Yeah, he wanted peace before Enel showed up and kind of kicked him out.
But Wiper wasn't listening.
Nope.
If it didn't involve giving them back Upper Yard, then he didn't want to hear it.
Pretty much. But now that everything was kind of destroyed, but they all work together, I feel like that will actually get mended. It will take a lot of time, though. Yeah. Just because, you did just try to kill one another.
For a long time.
For a long, long time. But it'll be good.
We never actually got into the Noland backstory. We did kind of talk a little bit about it, but not too much.
Do we...
Do you want to do a quick...
Like a quick summary?
Yeah.
How long are we at? What's our time?
We're at 43 minutes.
Okay.
So, the whole backstory with Noland and Kalgara, the
he was
legendary
the leader.
warrior for the Shandians, like, what, 400 years ago?
Yeah, before the war started.
Noland had landed on the island. He said he could hear a bell, like he could hear a bell out in the middle of the sea, even though they were so far away from Jaya at the time. They go to the island, they land, they're like, okay, well, they're botanists. He's a botanist, so he's like, let's go get some samples of, like, the plant life here, and then we'll head out. But they end up finding the village. Actually, they find that guy that's sick.
Yeah.
And they end up curing him because it was some kind of tree disease that was that affects people too. And he was going to die, so they gave him the antidote, or the medicine, or whatever you want to call it.
To cure him.
Saving him. And then he stops them from sacrificing this girl to their god.
What was it, the daughter of...
His Kalgara's daughter.
Yeah.
Muse. I got it written there.
Oh,
Daughter of Kalgara.
Thank God.
If only I could remember to write down locations, too.
Well,
We'd have been set.
Right.
He ends up stopping them from killing her. Kalgara's upset because he's, like, basically spitting on their traditions.
Yep.
But he's a man of science, and, you know, most people of science like to spit on everybody's religion and beliefs.
Yeah.
Most, not all. Some of them are pretty understanding and like, okay, if you want to believe...
Some of them will accept it, but other people are like, nope, I have scientific facts.
Yeah. You know, whatever, though. I don't really care. Doesn't bother me at all. And he tells Kalgara, I can cure this if you just give me, like a couple of days?
Yeah.
A day or two? I can get the medicine needed to cure everybody in the village.
And he does.
He gives him the time. And, that was one of the examples the guy used for how can you not believe that Wiper could survive the revenge dial, was that Noland was, like, wedged between two parts of the island and was able to lift it. It was like, how can you believe that but not believe that Wiper could survive the revenge dial? And I'm like, I don't know. Because the revenge dial was...
Right there? Like, on his...
I could understand if it...
Maybe
blew
wasn't
off his
direct...
arm.
Yeah.
But, yeah. We've seen other characters do stuff like that where they're able to deal with, like, landmass. I mean, Luffy punched through bedrock.
Yeah.
If Luffy could punch through bedrock, I can see Noland at least lifting
Some, like
a part
that.
of an island.
It's more realistic.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
You believe it or not. And Kalgara is looking for him, like, where's this guy? And he sees him stuck in between the island, and he's, like, laughing, like, ha!
Look at you, you're
Look
stuck.
at you, you're stuck. You can't even save yourself, and all this and that. And Noland's telling him, look, your beliefs are going to kill your village. I have the actual antidote right here, and I can save everybody, but if you let me die here...
Everybody will die.
Everybody will die. Not just his people, because they got them locked up, ready to kill off. But because of the disease, it's wiping everybody out. It's an epidemic. They have no cure for it. They're just praying and all that.
Hoping that it will
go away. Which, let's face it, that does not work.
Nope.
I know there are probably a bunch of religious people who'll be like, forget you.
Yeah, you don't
praying
know
does
nothing.
work. It's like, okay, look.
We're talking about this. We're talking about One Piece.
This is One Piece.
We're talking about One Piece.
And even then, praying doesn't always help. Like, you're not going to pray cancer away. Or AIDS. Or HIV.
Yeah, you're not
or anything like that. You're not praying it away. I'm sorry. I believe in God and Jesus, but I know that I need some kind of medicine. That might get us a lot of thumbs downs, but I don't care. So Kalgara saves him. One of the giant snakes was going to eat him.
Yeah.
And he killed it. Because that was a big deal, because they saw this snake as a god. And Kalgara just killed it.
to save him.
To save him.
So he's like, you better not be...
You better promise me that you can actually save my people.
Because if not, oh, it's going to be bad.
Yeah, because I just killed what we consider a god. Noland promised him, got him out of the wedge he was in. They went back to the village, they made the medicine, and fixed everybody. Everybody was cured.
This is where everything went...
Well, everything started going good.
It was going good until...
a certain point. I think they said they were going to stay for like a week.
Yeah, because they wanted to get some more samples.
Some more samples, and then they were going to leave. But him and Kalgara become very good friends. Well, I mean, he saved his daughter, and he saved his village.
So he was very, like, indebted.
Yeah. And him and Noland were basically inseparable.
Yeah.
People were surprised when they were not together. He showed him the City of Gold, he showed him the bell, he showed him everything, told him you can take as much gold as you want, just don't touch the bell.
Yeah, the bell is
or the poneglyph, which is actually what they were protecting.
Yeah.
They mentioned that in...
when Robin's
looking at it, yeah, we were protecting this poneglyph. Nobody can read it.
But we're protecting
except for Robin, but they have to protect it because it's their duty.
Yep.
I believe Robin told them that their duty was basically done now.
Yeah, because she kind of told him what it roughly said.
Yeah.
And told them that you did what you had to.
Had to, and you're done. You're done. And they cried. Happy. They cried for that.
Yeah, they were so happy.
Years and years, like hundreds of years. It's
finally done.
Finally done. Anyway, Kalgara explains, yeah, we're protecting this poneglyph. Nobody can read it. Noland couldn't even read it. He's like, what does this say? And they're like, well, we don't know. But we know we have to protect it. Then later, none of the villagers are talking to them.
They're
at all.
Really upset.
They're angry. They don't understand why, because nobody will explain anything to them. So they just go back to their ship. They said, okay, well, we're going to finish what we're doing, and then we'll just leave. Noland didn't want to get into it. He was like, we did something to upset them. We shouldn't try to
mend it. Let's just get our stuff and go. Then Muse, because they're in the forest.
Yep.
And Muse comes up to them because they're packing up their stuff, and she tells them why everyone in the village is upset with them, which is because they cut down a bunch of trees, and the trees that they did cut down were part of.
They were sacred.
Yeah. Where their ancestors were going to. Their spirits were going into the trees, right? Yeah.
They were like they're spirit trees.
Yeah.
They believe that the souls of their ancestors went into these trees and stayed with them. Right. And Noland and his crew just cut them all down.
But the reason why they cut it down is because that illness that we talked about earlier, that was making the whole village sick, was in those trees. And if they would have not cut them down, it would have spread, and it would have eventually just killed them.
Again, because it would have destroyed everything on the island. All of the trees would have been dead. They would have had no food. There would have been nothing.
So they all would have died.
They would have died.
And one of Noland's crew members tells Muse why they did what they did. Yeah. And then they all leave, and she goes to Kalgara and tells him, you need to go apologize. He saved us again. He saved us again.
And she explains
what happened and why he did what they did.
Yeah.
And he's, again, really devastated because they were really close. Like, they were pretty much, like Roman said, inseparable. Mm-hmm. So he goes and he tries to run to the shoreline to stop him and tell him, I'm sorry, just, you're welcome.
Welcome to come back anytime.
But they're already off the sea.
But they were able to hear.
Yeah, because he goes and rings the bell.
And tells them that he'll ring the bell every day so that they can find the island again.
And come back.
And that's when Noland goes back to his country.
And tells them that he found
a city of gold. And the king,
being greedy,
not any good intentions at all.
He was gonna kill them all.
He was gonna try. I believe the Shandians would have killed them.
It would have been bad. But then they would have sent reinforcements because then...
Well, the king went with them.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
They could have killed the king, too. I don't know if Noland would have let them, but they would have tried.
they would try to kill all the Shandians and everything. But when Noland left to the king is around the time that Jaya got split in half.
Yeah,
and it got sent into the
sky. The knock-up stream was
right under it.
And just, boom, shot that half of the island up.
Yep.
And then that started their war with the Skypeans.
Yeah, because then they
wanted... The current god at the time was like, this is now God's land.
Yep.
This belongs basically to him, because he was God at the time. And they were like, we gotta go and reclaim it, because it belongs to me.
Yeah.
So they went and started a war with the Shandians. I think they may have won that first battle.
The first one, yeah.
But then I think they may have gotten kicked off, and they had to continue fighting to try to get it back.
Yeah. But when Noland brings the king and all of them to Jaya to show him where the city of gold is, of course it's gone because it's now in the sky. But they think he's a liar. There's no signs of it. And they take him back there and they execute him, don't they?
Yeah, public execution.
And they have fake crew members speak on their behalf that it was all a lie.
Yeah.
There was never a city of gold. While the real crew is...
In the crowd, like, who the heck is this guy?
We don't even know this guy. And they execute him in front of everybody, but they continue to ring the bell, hoping
that he'll hear it
and come back and visit them.
Yeah.
And that's that.
That was the backstory for Noland and Kalgra.
Yeah.
Which was actually a really good backstory.
It was a really good backstory. I liked that.
That was, what, 3 episodes?
It was.
It's like 3 episodes long. Really good backstory. A lot of emotion in that. Because, I mean, a lot of different opinions.
Yeah.
That ended up changing. Like, Kalgra was big on his beliefs and their gods and everything until Noland showed up and showed him, look, there's other ways. Like, you can believe in what you believe in, but if it's going to kill your people or hurt your people, then you should
not worth it.
Yeah, it's not worth it. And showed him that there's other ways to cure people. Even when he cut down the trees, I mean, they were angry, but once they knew the reason...
They understood.
It was to save them again.
So they're really indebted to Noland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting a little teary-eyed.
I had to take a step. I had to take a breath. I was like, because it was really deep. Because they did so much, and he showed up at just the right time to save that whole village. And he really, honestly, didn't have to. No,
he could have just took his samples and then
left.
But he's like, no, these people are in trouble. We need to help them.
Not knowing anything about them wanting to kill
him and his crew.
He really took that risk for them and really set an undying bond between the Shandians and him.
Mm-hmm.
I need to stop.
There are a lot of scenes in One Piece where you can expect that. Backstories, little small scenes where you just talk about them and you just...
Yeah, I'm starting to feel it.
Build up again. But this is one of those. The backstory is just really good.
It was just really powerful because he could have been just like the king would have been. Really selfish, try to wipe him out or just take what he needed and leaving. That village just completely being... Wiped out.
The island, too, because it would have killed the whole island.
Yeah, everything. So it's so much more deeper. But I've noticed that it's in One Piece sometimes certain people come and really...
have an impact.
Yeah, like Luffy and them. Mm-hmm. They seem to show up at the right time. Like them showing up to Sky Island. Like, if they wouldn't have been there, everyone would have died.
Yeah, they would not have known anything about what Enel's plan was.
No.
He would have just wiped everything out and went off on the to the moon.
Yeah. It's just so much deeper to see these people make such a huge difference and help them out when they really don't have to at all.
Yeah. I mean, Luffy and them are pirates. They could just not care.
They're one of the only pirates so far
that actually help.
Which really confuses a lot of people. It really does. They're like all standoffish because they're pirates, but they're the type of pirates you kind of want on your side and to be friends with them, because once you're friends with them, they're willing to go to the end.
Above and beyond.
To make sure that you guys are okay, or if there are any casualties, they're as little as they possibly can.
As we saw from this, it doesn't even have to be the whole village.
No.
They made friends with Conus, and
that's it.
Her father.
And at that point, they're like, we gotta help. We gotta help out the whole thing. So, I don't know. I've noticed that in One Piece with, like, Luffy and the crew and Noland. That really showed in this specific saga that there are people that are willing to help out the other people that really need to, instead of doing the typical thing that they're expected to do, which is just to steal, take everything, murder, and leave.
Yeah. And I'm going to ask this question. I know we still have a lot of One Piece to go. So far, compared to everything else you've seen, how does One Piece rank?
What do you mean? Like,
as far as
a show?
Yeah.
I'd say it's like an 8.5 to a 9. I just want more knowledge as far as little things. But that will come with...
Yeah, as we progress, you'll get a lot of knowledge.
The stuff, so I know right now, not everything quite makes as much sense, because there's like gaps of information that we don't quite have yet. So right now that's where it ranks, but I feel like once I get all the information to really piece everything together, it'll be so much greater than that.
Yeah. Okay, because we still got a lot to go.
Yeah.
We're in episode 209 right now. And they're in like episode 800. So we got a while.
We do.
There's a lot of pieces that'll be filled in that amount of time.
It's a great show. It's one of the few shows I'll say that I've been wanting to consistently finish that's really long. Like, I watched like some of Naruto, but then at a certain point I kind of usually just like lose interest, or I just branch off and I never go back to it. I don't get that vibe with One Piece.
I think it helps that a lot, like, the main crew is very likable.
Yeah, I think.
And despite the fact that they have their continuous, like, flaws, like, things that you're like, okay, well, Luffy's doing this again.
Yep.
They do show stuff that
they do, like, well,
out of what you're used to, like, out of character, kind of. But not in a bad way.
In a good way. Yeah.
Like, in this one, we noticed that Luffy is kind of a people guy. He notices little changes in people's behavior. Yeah,
like if he spends some time with you and he knows how you normally act, he's very quick to detect.
Because we saw that with Conus.
Yep. Hadn't even known her very long. Day. Yeah, and he already knew right off the bat. You've been acting weird.
Yeah.
What's up?
Wrong? We expect that from, like, Sanji.
Yeah.
Especially with women. He's usually good at picking up on
things with women.
Stuff with women. Luffy, we haven't really seen too much. Like, we saw a little bit with Vivi last arc. But this one was like a, wow.
Like an out of the blue. Like, he was with Vivi for a while, so...
Yeah, they were on the ship for a couple weeks.
Yeah,
then they were traveling through Alabasta, trying to get to the capital. So he had some time to know her.
Get to know her, but not even knowing someone for a day, and he's so quick to...
pick up on things. I mean, we all know Sanji.
Yeah, Sanji.
But he definitely went out of his way, not just to help Nami, but Usopp when they were on the ship.
Yeah.
Like, get off.
When he kicked him?
Yeah. They all have, like, really good qualities.
Yeah.
That make you want to come back and watch them. And care about them. I think that's one of the reasons I really like One Piece. Like, again, I've been reading the manga since chapter 1. They're up to like 917 now.
Okay, so yeah, you're like...
So, there's still a lot of stuff about the characters that will be added on.
Which is good. It makes me excited. I want to know more about them.
They don't just continuously stay the same.
Yeah, there's a lot of character development.
Yeah, there's stuff about them that will always be the same. Luffy being kind of dense
and
stuff like that. Zoro being sleepy all the time.
Nami liking money.
Yeah, but there are other parts of their personality that come out as the series progresses, which I really like because it shows that they're not just one-dimensional.
Yeah.
But
I think that's it.
We got a summary of everything that happened, our thoughts on certain parts of the series, or the saga, and our thoughts on like the characters and Bell's thoughts on the series so far. I'll probably ask again in another 200 episodes.
Sounds good.
I'm not going to ask every saga. So, like another 200 or so episodes, maybe two sagas.
Yeah.
I'll ask you again.
Sounds good.
How is the series so far now? But, hope you enjoyed this. I don't think it's 3 hours. Maybe 2 hours and 20 minutes or something like that.
We tried to cut it down. We really did.
Yeah. It's kind of hard. I know we keep saying it's a discussion, and I keep talking about what happened instead of actually talking about parts of this saga. But I think it helps because then we go through everything and then we can just stop and talk about that.
Certain things, I think that works out a lot better.
Mm-hmm. But hopefully this doesn't scare you away from watching the whole thing because it's so long. I know last one was 3 hours.
Yeah, sorry about that. Okay.
This one's an hour or less, hopefully. But hopefully you enjoyed it. And we will do the same thing once the next arc is over, which I think I've mentioned before. A lot of people consider the best.
Okay, yeah.
It is really long, though. It's probably going to be over 100 episodes.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's counting the one we're on now, plus
okay.
The next two coming up.
Gotcha. All right.
So, if you enjoyed this discussion video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons and get updates on our releases. Check out our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for anything else we decide to post, and hopefully we'll be posting stuff soon again.
Yep.
And check out our Discord where you can chat with me or anyone else, and Belle.
I go on there sometimes. I just don't know when to jump in. So, if you have questions for me about anything that I've seen, tag me in there, and I'll actually go and reply.
Yeah. If you see anything else, like discussions that we're having,
just jump in?
Yeah, feel free to jump in. Just put, like,
Belle,
so that people know that it's actually you.
Okay. Do that, guys. I'm on there, like, a lot, actually. You guys just probably don't know it.
Yeah. So if you... Let me see, I already did all that. So we'll see you next time.
Alright. Bye.